Hello, hello. It's time for Tina's RPG show, I guess. I'm tinahacks. That makes it my show, I guess. Got a great show for you today. Honestly, a series that I keep getting told, hey, this is a great game, great group of games. You need to check it out. It's super fun. It's super cute. Well, fine. I'm going to do that by way of allowing other people to speedrun the game and talk about it so that I get to experience it without having to do any effort on my own. But first, just a couple announcements for everybody. GDQX will be live from TwitchCon October 20th through the 22nd. If you're interested in running live at the event, use !GDQX in Twitch chat or head on over to gdqx.gamesdonequick.com to submit before August 28th. That's coming up. You'll want to make sure you get those in. Anybody accepted as a runner or a backup will receive a TwitchCon badge and the opportunity to showcase their run on the GDQ stage. Games Done Quick will be at PAX West 2023, September 1st through 4th. So that's coming up. If you're interested in watching live runs or to try your hand at the Speedrun Gauntlet, be sure to head on over to the Speedrun stage at PAX West to find out more. Games Done Quick is hiring. If you have experience in social media creation and want to help out at our live events, be sure to go to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. If you missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows or past events like Flame Fatales, be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel all help to support the Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to press the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in looking at our live content. It's always super fun. Finally, make sure that you stay tuned after this show for a special showcase of a Dredge 100% speedrun. I'm not super familiar with that one. I'm really excited to get to watch that. I've heard it's just a wild run. You'll want to catch it. But first, you're going to want to catch John DBS showing us Atelier. Hey, John. Tell us about this game. Tell us about what you're going to do. I'm super excited for this.
Thank you very much, Tina, and welcome everyone. I am John, and I am here to present the landmark of Atelier series. Actually, the Atelier series celebrated its 25th anniversary with 2 releases this 2023. Namely, there is the Rise of 3, which just came out last March, and then last month, July, Atelier Marie got its own release after, in 1997, which was not released in outside Japan, actually. Outside Japan. And so there are 3 categories that I will do. Actually, it was not tweeted as I have informed. Yeah, there are 3 categories, namely a savior ending in very hard, as you see right now, that the difficulty is clocked to very hard. The second is the 2 Schea endings, which are more of story-oriented endings. And finally, as you have seen on the top right corner of the game for a while, so we will play the original version because we want to give justice to this game since it's the 25th anniversary of Atelier series, which started from this game. Since it got its remake, it makes sense to play the original version. And with me is my commentator. Please introduce yourself.
Hey everyone, I'm Angela. I am also an Atelier speedrunner, and I've played this game a lot. John's gonna have a great run for you today, so yeah, enjoy. I'll be commentating.
The runner. Yes, the runner we know and the runner we love. By the way, for those who are not aware, Angela has played tons of Atelier games, more than I do. So yeah, she is practically the organizer of every Atelier events as of the modern times. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah. So probably you're aware of these games. There are 2 main difficulties, but 2 modes. So there is the normal mode and the unlimited mode. So the normal mode is just the OG Atelier Marie's mechanics where you're given the limited time of 5 years, and then the unlimited mode, which is based on the recent Atelier games, especially if you have played the Sophie games, of course, the well-known Risa games. But
Right.
to so to do the twist, we will do the normal mode. My PB runs are all based on unlimited mode, but I want to show also that every ending that we will get can be done within 5 years. So time will start once I click yes. So in the count of 1, 2, 3, start.
And we're off. So yeah, we're gonna be playing in normal mode, which is the time limit mode. Usually play in unlimited because it's faster, but the time limit is a little bit better to show off, just to show that, like, yeah, you can do everything. We're in the tutorial right away from the start, and John's gonna be going pretty fast here to get through these cutscenes. It actually takes quite a bit of focus because your cutscene skip inputs are fairly complicated. You have to not only skip the cutscene, which is a few different inputs really fast, you also have to fast forward the cutscene to make the, like, for whatever reason, there's a fast forward function and a skip function. And the fast forward function basically makes the darkening, that like black screen after it, goes faster. So you save multiple seconds by doing that fast forward every cutscene skip. And the tutorial is just really quick. It's showing you the basic mechanics of the game. So like, we're learning how to accept requests from the tavern. We're learning how to go exploring on the world map, and also battles. So this will be the first little tutorial battle. Well, if you just sort of mash through it and do your attacks with Marie and Schea, and it'll be over pretty quick. This battle's completely scripted, so.
By the way, you will hear most of the time, probably if you're wearing headphones or earphones, you might hear most of the time that I'm mashing the keyboard. Yeah, because of course,
right.
We
There'll definitely be some keyboard mashing later as well, for to sort of get through a lot of the menu inputs faster, especially while sleeping and stuff, or selecting things really fast. All right, so here's the synthesis tutorial. Synthesis is kind of like the main mechanic of the Atelier series. It's what it's known for. Basically, all of the main characters in the series are alchemists, use the cauldron to put in materials and make items. So right now, John is putting in news to make some crafts. Crafts are just a basic bomb in this game. And news are these little like spiky chestnut things. So the crafts are complete, the tutorial's done. One thing that's kind of frustrating for speedruns in this game, especially with synthesis, is that you have a success chance. So you can actually fail your synthesis, which is really bad, but thankfully the tutorial can't be failed. And now that we've made the item, we can turn in the request, and requests are pretty important in the game. We'll be going to the tavern and doing those a lot.
Somebody's asking, is keyboard just a preference? And unfortunately, I haven't invested on a controller, so that's why I mostly prefer keyboard. And
even if you were running the game with a controller on PC, you would actually be doing hybrid runs, controller keyboard, because keyboard is faster to mash when you need to mash. That is what I do for my runs.
so yeah, we're doing a second visit in the forest. So what we will do here is we will gather nooses here so that we will make one of the essential items in this category, which is the mega craft. You will see later when we turn over tavern quests, mega crafts give tons of money and reputation points. So basically, Marie is not just rich, she's famous.
Not at the start, though. Right now, we are very, very poor and unknown. And that's kind of one of the main goals for every Atelier Marie speedrun. Is one of the main mechanics is reputation or her fame. And you need to get that up to unlock a lot of different things. So for this category specifically, what do you need to get up to? Is it like 440 or so? I don't know the reputation cutoff for the time slate recipe.
So you just have seen this silver-haired girl named Mew. She did not. She declined our invitation to join the party. So why is she? Oh, sorry. I forgot something. What the world did I forget something? Yeah, there. Yeah. Why do we need Mew and Kugel? Is in actually they're in choosing party members. There are some important factors to consider. Number one is when we battle the tower later, we want an AoE attack. Mew fits that description, and then Marie fits for the magic description. And then Kugel fastens up the grind. Okay, so what you're seeing now is the forest. We're particularly fighting snakes. Yes, we're particularly fighting snakes. But we want encounter of only one. That one. So that we will the idea here is we want to be able to earn so much experience for Marie to level up to level 8 faster.
Right, and on very hard, enemies are like super difficult early, so if you don't have levels, you're going to die to them. That's why we're only fighting one. If there were two, we would lose the battle. Like, you can see that Mew died basically right away.
They're quite far away. Just to advance RNG, we just gather some nooses.
Yeah, so when you gather...
are also good. Yes. We
When
also
you gather a
Venus
fight... Oh, sorry.
Sorry. Sure. Let's fight another one.
Yeah, when you gather or do a battle, the time advances by 1 day. So it's pretty important to do that mostly for rare item spawns. Rare items spawn every 3 days of in-game time. So you want to make sure to sort of like set that up basically just by doing 3 gathers and battles in between each rare item spawn that you need to pick up. Rare items are very good because there are a lot of requests for them that give very good rewards. So you want to make sure you have rare items. That's the glowing ones that he just picked up, those fairy wings there.
Yes, they're good fairy wings.
Yes.
Now, gathering fairy wings, we need the safe number is 8 actually. The safe number is 8.
Yeah, and that should be a good amount to get a good amount of money from doing requests with them.
Exactly.
The other items that are being gathered, the common items, are mostly just good for advancing time forward to get more rare items. They can also be used in synthesis, but in requests, they barely give anything. So like you will turn them in if you see them, but they're not that useful. So we're doing some requests now.
We got the apple. I did not know that.
Apple, yeah, you got the apple from the first one. Very lucky.
Yeah. Run validated.
Run validated. And so yeah, the important thing at this early part of the game is just sort of getting your money and reputation up so that you can buy things later and get a few recipes. We're also going to do some synthesis here. Synthesis also gives Marie XP, and you also need these items just to sort of like make some other important stuff later. We'll see these neutralizers used at some point.
We don't count. Okay, so just to comment, this is a huge reset point, to be honest. This is especially if I don't get lucky before the book sale. So what we're aiming here is we want to get at least 6,100 worth of money. Actually, lucky.
It looks like we have enough. So money's at the top right. It's that silver coin, almost at 6,000. So yeah, the reason it's a big reset point is because there is a yearly book sale at the Academy on March 9th, March 8th and 9th. And yeah, you have to make sure to have enough money through your requests for the book sale before it happens, because we just need to go there and buy all the books. Books are very useful They give you recipes for synthesis. Obviously, we need more recipes to make more items to become stronger. But the other thing is every single recipe gives you knowledge. Knowledge is another one of Mari's stats that you can see at the top right there when they're turning in requests. And knowledge is really important to get even more recipes later, including the recipe for the time slate, which we'll need to finish the run. You'll see that.
So we got lucky with the
it.
fairy wings. We got lucky with the fairy wings, and we are able to sell bombs. So we got more than the enough money actually. So as you're seeing here, the Ingrid's assignments are the main difference makers when you consider normal ending and normal ending.
Normal mode and unlimited mode.
Normal, yes.
Every 6 months in normal mode, the time limit mode, there is basically an unskippable cutscene from Ingrid's assignments. Yeah. And it's not in unlimited mode. That's the reason we usually run in unlimited, but we're doing normal mode this time. And so yeah, we just bought all the books and all of the utensils from the Academy sale, and John will just quickly mash through all of these recipes that you just learned.
Wait. Oh no. That's fine. We have backup struts. Probably more. Okay. Yeah, you earn experience from synthesizing. So that is the reason also why we need to fight 2 snakes. Actually, we need to fight 2 snakes so that after earning some passive experiences, also Marie earns it after turning over tavern quests.
Yeah.
She can level up all the way to level 8.
And we need to get to level 8 to unlock the library. That's the main goal right now. The library is a mechanic. It's in the academy, so Mari's like a failure of a student, and they don't trust her to go to the library to use books. So you basically just need to get stronger and get just progress in the game to go there and get more books to make more items. The requirements are Mari at level 8, and then also 250 reputation. So that's kind of the goal of the first stages of the game, is to meet those requirements. One thing that we sort of went through real fast is before heading out, John slept to March 30th before heading out exploring, because during month 4 and month 10 of the year, there are no random encounters. In fact, there's no monsters at all. So a lot of your map movement you want to be doing during months 4 and 10. So all of this stuff we're doing in April, and you can see coming in here that there are no monsters. And one thing John's going to do here is just sort of reset for some rare item spawns again. You can see them on the map overlay, that's why it's in the center. They're always in a specific location. So he'll just be quickly looking to see if it's spawned by the green markers on the overlay map. And yeah, there it is over at the top left. So gather that. And since we're getting 2 nodes, you just do 1 gather in between each one, and you can easily reset them because, like we mentioned before, rare item spawns require 3 in-game days to pass before they spawn. And yeah, every time you gather, it passes a day forward. So we'll just be gathering a bunch of this glass and ore. Glass and ore is really good because it sells for a lot of money. Each one sells for 400 coal. So we want to grind a bunch of these. And we need a lot of money. I believe it was 15,000.
Yes, you need 15,000 for the reputation stuff.
Yes, 15,000 for the legendary staff.
I have been naming it Wanda. I don't know why. Okay, so it's bad. We only have 11. The safe number is actually anywhere at least 26.
It's somewhere in the 20s.
Mid 20s to be safe, because we may not have possibly. You're blocking the way.
Have to go the long way when they're on the bridge.
So yeah, that is one problem with the gargoyles. They're really random. Their movements are quite random. So
yeah.
And also you don't want to make contact with them, because what will happen is
They
you
will probably
engage in a
kill
fight,
you.
and we're playing in the highest difficulty, so it's just a matter of how many turns will it take for the party to be wiped out.
Yeah, and if you get wiped out, you get sent all the way back home. It
Yes,
loses a
faster
lot
than
of
an
time.
ambulance. Faster
Yeah.
than an ambulance. Are we on the safe number? I don't think so. 22, not
Almost
quite.
there. Yeah, pretty close. Yeah, this is one of the... In every category, this is kind of like the big RNG section of the game, is grinding these rare materials. Because every time you enter the zone, it has a chance to spawn, and there's also RNG in how many you gather from each node. You can gather 2 or 3 at a time. You, of course, ideally want to be gathering 3 at a time, but you can get very unlucky streaks of 2 at a time, and that's really unfortunate. At this point, though, he only needs 1 more node to leave. There we go. That's 26 total.
That's safe. And considering we got lucky with the fairy wings. Yeah,
Yeah,
we got lucky
More
with the
than
fairy wings.
more than good
It's
enough.
more than enough, actually. Let's see some quests first before... that's fine, we don't need... And then we'll just synthesize all the way to the September. Which is practically the next year. So we'll just synthesize things. Yeah, we lack fire sands. Oh yeah, another thing crucial in whenever you're synthesizing, so you deplete your MP. So the only way to restore your MP is to consume days.
Yeah, we have to restore MP through sleeping, basically.
So wait, a polishing powder, we need it. So we're already in August. Yeah, by the way, every action counts in this game. Yeah, every action counts. We're not... So every stay, every trip, every enemy encounter, let's rest. Okay. I might want to save here because we are about to synthesize Spinach S.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
you
one's probably around 70%. Oh, it's 86.
Actually,
okay.
it's 86, but time and
If
time
you get
again,
unlucky.
I have lost. Yeah.
Yep.
Time and time again, the 40% could potentially kill a run, actually.
Yep.
What should I synthesize? The crack. Yeah, we need the Mega Craft thingy here. So we're now on September. September, yeah. We're now on September.
And level 8 as well. Perfect for unlocking the library once we have enough reputation for that.
We're about to do the glass and ore, yeah. Okay. Oh, not enough. We were quite unlucky with the tavern quest, but
Yeah, it was about 700 coal short.
but of course we have backup plans. We can always synthesize whatever we can
Yeah.
and just sleep for another.
Just look for more requests. It's only about 300. It should be fine.
Oh, we're getting unlucky.
Yeah, requests are really, really mean.
Save strats. We have to save, and then we don't
Save
have
scum
anything to
requests a little
synthesize.
bit. Yeah, not enough time. Oh, perfect.
That is also the reason why we do Venus rooms, because
Yeah, sometimes they're like slightly helpful. Usually you don't care about them too much. All right, Staff of Legend. This item's really funny. So all it does is it gives you 200 reputation, which is a really big boost early game considering our reputation is probably around 150 without it. And the library is now unlocked. It does nothing else. So it's kind of a meme that it feels useless for most people, especially playing casually, because it costs a lot of money, 15,000, which is like more than anything else in the game, and it has no combat effect. And in fact, in this game, it tells you it gives 200 rep. In the original Mari, it didn't tell you it did anything. It was just expensive and it felt useless for no reason unless you were really observant, right? All right, so we got the library open, which means we get the book to make better bombs. So John just made Mega Crafts. Mega Crafts are a really good request item, which we'll use to finish out the rep we need and get a bit more money. And every time we like sleep and turn requests, we're just gonna come to the library to get another book. Getting all these books is very important.
Yeah, in one of my practice runs, when I triggered the weapon master by talking to him twice, somehow he triggered the quest. So I'm fishing for that, and apparently it did not work today. Yeah. How unlucky.
Yeah, a lot of events in this game. So if you need to like trigger an event cutscene, a lot of them are RNG. It's going to be like a 40 or 50% chance on like a specific day when you go somewhere. It's not going to trigger every single time.
There
we go. So yeah, if it gets missed, you can you'll have to like either save scum, or depending on the conditions, you'll just have to try multiple times. But dates can be kind of tight in this game, so if you miss it too many times, it's basically a reset if you haven't saved. And because it's a marathon run, we'll be saving a lot.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, we're about 60%. We don't want that. 60%. 60. An almost coin flip is something you do not want to YOLO all of the time, because 70 quite good, but not good. Okay. Yeah, the moment we fail a synthesis, that will be another load and reload. There's our mega craft.
Perfect. Wrap up
And then
to
there's our rumor
379
for the
now.
tower. I mashed too much. Okay. There. We need the hair serum because we will get Marie's weapon eventually.
Yes.
So that's the essential thing. Let's rest.
Yeah, so doing these events for the Weapon Master, eventually he's like, I'm very thankful, and he gives Mari her best weapon, which unlocks an area of effect skill for her that does a lot of damage. All right, so now we have unlocked the hidden room in the library.
Which needs 400 reputation, by the way.
Yes.
400.
And the hidden room is really important because it gives you the best recipes when you go there. So,
exactly.
Most specifically, the recipe for Time Slate, which is required to defeat the boss, more or less.
Actually, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need also the comet. The comet is needed for the Time Slate.
Mm-hmm.
It's a setup, synthesis item. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not synthesizing anything. Okay, so because we now have our weapons. Unfortunately, we triggered the hair serum skip first, so we have to rest for quite a bit. Yeah, we have to rest for quite a bit.
Yeah, if you trigger that cutscene, he closes his shop for a while, and he can't buy any items. We do want to buy weapons for our party members so that they do more damage.
Oh yeah, we can sell the reputation stuff.
Yeah, and the Staff of Legend that we bought for 15,000, we can just go sell it for half price. We don't need it anymore. It's just nice to get our money back.
Backup, we buy armor just for backup, but we don't need in the long run. And actually, in my PB runs, I did not use any armor, just because, after all, in very hard difficulty, it's not that significant. The
Yeah.
difference between with and without armor is not quite significant.
It might help you like survive a one shot on the boss, and I guess we should probably go over that. The purpose of this category, a Savior's Ending, is obviously to unlock, is obviously to get the Savior's Ending. And what is the Savior's Ending, right? The Savior's Ending is unlocked when you defeat the Demon King at the top of the Airfolk Tower. So basically defeat the final, like the penultimate boss of the game, and you unlock the Savior's Ending. And so that's kind of what we're grinding towards to do for this category. On very hard, it's quite difficult. There's 4 difficulties in the game, and in fact, on easy, it can be done in about 15 minutes because base characters can defeat the boss, but on very hard, if you try and do that, you will just lose. So we need to grind up alchemy and levels quite a bit to be strong enough. And that's sort of what's going to start now is level grinding. So we're going to start off with some lower level enemies like these snakes to get levels and to get the stats and the HP needed to defeat the tower boss, the Demon King. We are going to be grinding up to around level 33, and that's going to take up the bulk of the run. Thankfully, on very hard, enemies also give more XP than they do on lower difficulties. We get an XP bonus, so it doesn't take quite as long, but of course the battles are also a bit longer to compensate because the enemies have a lot more HP, so there's trade-offs.
And to be precise, what is the difference between the XP gap between easy and very hard? Is actually approximately more than twice that of the easy difficulty. So
Right.
It's especially if you're fighting a high-leveled enemy, it's a big chunk. It's a big chunk, actually.
Yeah,
Now-
and once the party's a bit stronger, the XP will be going up quite a bit faster.
And also, the reason why I would choose the snakes or whatsoever is simply because there is a principle that because you're fighting in the highest difficulty, there's a balance that... I missed that shot. There is a need for a balance to know what you can defeat and how can you go fast. Because
Right.
yes, you can go fast, but it's you have a very risky strat. Yeah, very risky. Now, the only thing that can go wrong in the snake grind, because this is one part of the grind. This is just one thirds actually. 1/3 is if I don't hit the enemy and the enemy came into contact with Marie. And that's essentially the worst case scenario in this at this point. So if the snakes, one small mistake of letting the enemy move first can potentially wipe your full party, especially if they're not high leveled enough. Just
Yeah.
like that.
Ow, that was a lot of damage.
And that's why we're doing and that's what we get for playing in the highest difficulty. By the way, you may have noticed I'm not whooping the green-tailed snake, which is a snake woman, simply because we want to trigger more snake healers, because snake healers are essentially way more
They're safer.
way more way higher level actually. They're higher
higher
level
level.
than the snake woman.
The red ones, yeah.
The brown-tailed snakes. And also, we want 2 encounters of them. Because, of course, that's twice the experience.
Yep.
So far, the encounters here are consistent. You can only fight 1 or 2 snakes.
Yeah, if there was 3, that would be really unfortunate, but thankfully they don't really spawn.
We can get out of here once we reach level 15. But to be safe, in the marathon, actually we will do 16.
Pretty close. I think Mari was 13 or so right now.
Yeah, I think so.
So, obviously, this is a remake of a game from 1997. This is the first game in the Atelier series, which now has like 24 mainline games in it, 25 this October. And it's kind of interesting to note a few of the differences. This remake is pretty faithful in a lot of ways, but there are definitely differences to more modernize it because the original game is quite old. One of the differences that's really relevant here is in the original game, the XP you gained was heavily based on your contribution in battle, like damage done and stuff like that. So it was actually very difficult to get levels on Mari because she doesn't do very much damage. Thankfully, in this game, that is not the case quite so much.
How did you survive? How in the world did you survive?
Yeah, it's very close. Oh,
That's fine, that's fine. As
Yeah.
long as they...
very close, but got enough turns. All right.
15, to be safe. Okay. The next section is actually a big RNG grind. Especially if we fight the most infamous enemies of all time.
That is just the story of this game. Everything is an RNG grind. Usually, at least if you just go at it long enough, you'll get through it. So it's not like resets required, but at least for a marathon, but the speed at which you get through things is highly, highly variable.
Marie at 15 still. Let's... Yeah, let's do 16. Yeah, at this point, if we get an encounter of 1 towards the end of the grind, that is not good because it earns less experience, of course. And then we can take advantage of the passives. Okay.
10 XP off from 16, close enough, right?
Yes, exactly. Okay.
Can probably
We
hit
need-
it through synthesis.
We need to hit Fox because we're doing the normal mode. We need to hit Fox. I think we hit it. Oh yes.
Nice.
So we need tons of beehives for the mega bombs. And
Yeah, so this fairy is very funny. It's kind of like, so the fairy merchant has a 40% chance to show up at your atelier door on days 6 through 9 in even months. So 40% chance every day. If you miss it, you have 4 chances per month. So it is possible to go on a string of missing it in a single month. And if you do that, you have to sleep another 2 months, which is honestly fine for most categories, because here we're just sleeping to October anyways to travel up to Mount Wieland. Like I said earlier, month 10, there's no enemies on the world map. So you want to do most of your world map movement during that month so you don't get random encounters that waste time. And this will be the second portion of the combat grind, is these gargoyles at the mountain. And gargoyles give a ton more XP than the snakes. Now that our level is higher, we do more damage. It's actually possible to fight them.
Now, actually, to be honest, I would think that this is the main run killer of the run. Well, of course, any segment of the run can potentially be a run killer. But the gargoyles, especially with their bad encounters such as this one,
Right, if you get 3, you need to run.
Low levels. Especially
Yeah.
at low levels, we're still quite low level. Party is level 16.
Oh,
and that's
no.
another one we don't want for.
Okay,
can
good. At
do
least we're
3.
escaping.
So as long as we see Kugel at level 25 and the party is at least level 20, we could battle 3 of them. So we need to...
Yeah, I think that one's cursed. You just go and find a different one.
Yes, exactly. I would say what happened in my PB run is quite, I would say, average luck. Yeah, average luck. But it's not the ideal encounter, but pretty decent that I do not encounter frequently 4 or 3 or just the right amount.
Are we sure this one isn't still cursed?
We look at the other one. Okay, 2,
Okay,
that's
much
fine.
better.
That's fine. I have to be careful also with the... No, I ain't cosplaying.
Yeah, so these gargoyles are quite rude. Are these the ones that can put you to sleep as well?
Yes, this is also one of the worst case scenarios in the grind. So, if the gargoyle puts 2 of your physical attackers to sleep, that's essentially a matter of time where your party will be wiped.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 encounters
finally.
again, that's good. That's good. That's good! By the way, I am being careful with my bottom presses here because I might hit the wrong target, and some of my runs died simply because of wrong target.
Yeah, if you don't focus one down, it'll get an attack in, and taking attacks from multiple is very bad. They do a lot of damage. And also they can sleep. If at any point they use the attack, which gives your party the sleep status ailment, that can basically just kill you right away, depending on who it hits. Sleep basically makes your characters unable to act, as you would expect from an ailment called sleep.
Just look at that, the damage. Oh no, I have to make the right call here. Should I run? I think I should run. Here is also another crucial part of the grind. You need to know whether you need to escape or to continue fighting. Because once you get wiped out, you will not recover some HP returning to your atelier. So you need to rest a lot, actually. You need to rest a lot. And you
nice,
don't want that. Especially that we are in the middle of the we got to the mountain October.
Yeah, if you have to run back, you'll get random encounters on the map, which can if you're unlucky, they'll just outright kill you, because random encounters on the map spawn more enemies. They're harder to run from. Okay, so it used the sleep, but it missed.
The best case scenario.
Yeah. Thankfully, it missed everyone. The sleep breath attack. So.
If you get one, that's fine. Oh, no, of course, we don't get one. By the way, you might notice each day that a combat is made, it restores gradually some hit points. But it's that little, unfortunately. It's so little that you don't actually see.
Yeah. Alright, well, at least we can fight it. And so what level are we going to for the gargoyles?
We want to be safe at level 25, actually. As soon as we get... And also the problem is, if you go to the tower not at level 25, actually without any AoE attacks from you or Marie, it will reward you a very long fight.
Yeah.
Because you have to fight them one by one because you don't have an AoE attack. So the safest way is to do it at level 25. And the Punies in the tower, the Puny, we haven't introduced the Puny creature, but we will see later what a Puny looks like. They really deal good damage as early as the first set of enemies in the tower. So it's you don't want to stall a fight with any of the opponents, of course, in the tower. Yeah. Should we? Okay. And this is one of the reasons why, in one way or another, I like this category is because I would say it's quite not. Of course, it's challenging because it's very hard. Oh, we got another miss.
I swear that never happens in my run.
Oh, you did. Wait,
no, not this category.
In easy difficulty, you would fight the gargoyles.
Yeah, to get to
I
level
don't quite
8.
remember. How long it has been since your last run? Aha! Wait. We'll dispose of golden rocks. We don't need golden rocks. Yeah, at one point when we... This is also the reason why in my earlier PB runs, I did gathering at the Elfin Cave, which has tons of stones. The reason we did not gather in that area is that the gargoyles drop tons of red rocks, canone rocks. So you can just practically obtain them by grinding out to the gargoyles. Yeah. They drop so many stones.
And the canone rocks are...
what level am I?
And these materials are really important for basically synthesizing bombs. We'll need a lot of bombs to defeat the boss at the end, so need a lot of materials to make those bombs. And you can see...
we don't have enough stamina.
Yeah, I need to rest for some MP. You need a lot of materials to make items in this game. The bombs require a very large bulk of materials.
And also, normally in my runs, I would not synthesize at this point because, again, we're taking advantage of Marie's passive experience gain from synthesizing. But because we're doing normal mode, now is the time to do it. Actually, now is the time to do it. We need more fire stands. And you will be surprised when we create the mega bombs later. Oh, so many people knocking on the door. Okay. Yeah, for example, if we make the mega bomb later, so that's 12 days. That's times how many mega bombs do we make? And that's practically almost 425. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll
that's practically almost 6 months. Yeah, half a year.
You need to have at least that much time left before you go to fight the boss in normal mode. And as you can see, the days are going by quite quickly. We only have 5 years from the start, and there's about 2 years and 4 months left or so.
Yes, about 4 months.
Yeah.
So again, we resumed the grind. We just healed our party all the way to full. And at this point, the party should be at more or less be level 20. Well, Marie is not yet level 20. Careful now. Yeah. Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt. Just look at that. 100 damage at Marie. And that is like what? Half of Marie's health. So that's how tough gargoyles are. That's how defensive gargoyles are. And take note. At
least she's high enough that they're not one-shotting her anymore.
It's still quite good, but of course. No. Okay.
Yeah, you need to hit them with your staff for every battle to get the first move. If you accidentally get in an encounter where you don't hit them with your staff first for the ambush bonus for going first, there's a very real chance you just die immediately because you just don't have enough turns at the start and you can't escape.
So, actually, you have a slim chance.
There's a slim chance.
Considering it's on the highest difficulty.
Yeah. So he hasn't made that mistake yet of entering an encounter without the ambush bonus, but if that does happen, there is a very decent chance that the party gets wiped out and sent back to the Atelier.
Oh, how in the world did this survive that? So as you have seen, Mew is has decent physical defense. But unfortunately, Marie has paper defense, I would say. Paper defense.
Yeah.
And just like that.
At least she doesn't get hit as much, but it's also not important. Oh, Mew got slept there, but it's fine. It's dead. At least it's not as important that Marie stays alive, because she still gets the XP even if she's dead. And she does a lot less damage. Her damage is relevant, but she's not the one that you need, like, you need alive, right?
Unfortunately, oh, no. Okay, we just reset. They made them chibi. Yeah, when I first saw this game, it kind of reminded me of some, of course, the RPG chibi games.
They're very cute.
Most especially, if you have seen Bravely Default, that is the very first thing that came to my mind. But of course, they appropriated with the usual Atelier mechanics, where the main premise is on item crafting. But unfortunately, if you're
Kugel and Mu are asleep. That could be very bad.
Yeah, they just cured themselves.
Nice, they woke up in time.
Okay, Kugel is level 25, but we cannot risk fighting 3, unfortunately, because there are quite... the party's health is not quite full. Actually, 2 of them are close to death.
Yeah.
So we can only take 2 enemies at a time, fortunately. Oh, why did I keep on clicking the enemy? Yeah. Not 4, please. Yeah, if we're taking too much time in this grind, it's simply because of the gargoyles. That is why I would say this is the biggest run killer, if not the other segments.
Yeah.
Because this is the most inconsistent RNG for the encounters. This is the most inconsistent. Unlike the snakes earlier, you only they're pretty much consistent with either one or two snakes.
Right.
Oh, what did
But gargoyles, yeah. We get a lot of 3s and 4s, which they show up pretty regularly. Gonna slow down your run a lot.
And just like that, we have to keep fleeing. Even when you flee, you get items, just as you have seen here. You get items, so it sounds convenient actually, that you can also obtain items by fleeing, by not fighting.
Alright,
But at this
level
point,
22.
but at this point, getting one encounter is just plain bad, actually, because
At least you can fight it, but yeah, you really want to get 2 at a time for the extra XP.
of course, for faster grind. And also, we cannot use Kugel's special move as of this time because they're not lined up. The other ideal case is,
Oh my gosh, I
if
had
the
1
gargoyles are
HP.
lined up, you can use Kugel's special attack. But unfortunately, it isn't, and we don't want to waste too much MP for Kugel too, because he is an important member of the team.
But can we take
3! We're
yet?
not risking 3! We're not risking 3! Sorry, we're not risking 3. As
No
much as
risk.
possible.
Maybe if all of them are lined up.
Even if they're lined up, it's still super risky because there are 2 gargoyles that will hit your party members. It's still
Yeah,
not
especially you could risk it in unlimited mode, but when you're playing in normal mode with the time limit, you really can't afford to lose those days traveling back.
good. Exactly. And how should I say this? Just like that. So the gargoyles are really tough. So they just scratch. They just let them out of their foul breath. So how much more if the gargoyles have can spin their tail, can possess weapons. So that's an entirely different thing.
So you've mentioned a couple of times enemies being lined up. What does that do for the fight?
So Kugel's special attack, our party member on the left there, the knight, his special attack hits all enemies in a line. So if you get them all lined up, you can do a lot more DPS, but it also costs a lot of MP and he doesn't have very much. So you kind of want to save them for when you're in like a bad situation, if you need to.
We don't need too much comets. Yeah, we don't need too much comets.
Yeah. So they don't really speed up the fights too much, but because you can't like spam it over and over again, but it is very useful when you do need to use it.
Yeah, actually Angela just answered the lineup question. Now I also comment that there are 9 possible positions. Yeah, 9 possible positions for enemies. So it's essentially a 3x3 grid fighting. Should I? Yeah, 3x3 grid fighting. So just like that. So there are 3 gargoyles lined up diagonally. Of course, the usual things. If you're positioned on front, that's the offensive position. Second is neutral. The third is you're more defensive or more magical, actually. Why did I run? Sorry.
I thought it just wasn't good enough for you.
Yeah, probably it's my instinct that I would run because... in my latest grind, most of my latest grinds really die to the gargoyles, actually. Especially that I kept on pressing R so that
Almost there. And thankfully the next grinding location does not have RNG.
Yes, it's
not
consistent.
Like this. Yep.
We don't need golden rocks. Oh no! Ambulance time!
Oh,
ambulance time! Somebody call the ambulance.
Can we run? Okay, sleep breath. Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what happens if you don't get the ambush bonus. They basically they get the first turn and you very well might die before managing to escape.
I have been keep getting this information that, oh no, I am full on inventory. Yeah, the basket only carries 60 and that's quite weird. If you have played I think the other Atelier games have only basket. Not really only, but I don't know. Is it 600? I don't quite remember the Ryza games.
It depends on the game. More recent games are getting up to like 200, like Ryza games. But older games still limited you quite heavily to like 60, maybe 100 with upgrades for items you can carry out in the field. Okay. Oh, Kugel was asleep, yeah. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah. That is why I had to make the right call to run. Yeah, if we sent away faster than an ambulance at this point, we don't need fast. That's why. Okay, if we got sent faster than an ambulance, in normal mode, that's a waste of another grinding. Oh come on, how many? Okay. Oh, we got to summer. I'm surprised.
We've been here for a month. They're like, when do we get to go home? They never get to go home. Their life is gargoyles now.
But we want to train our team. We want to withstand the gargoyles, you know. Okay, Mew is about to get to level 25. Now, you may ask, should I end my grind? Actually, in some of my PB runs, I would end my grind. Yeah.
Your HP is low enough that it might be better, I'm not sure.
Google is strong enough, I guess. Oh no. Okay, Google can clutch it. Google can clutch it as long as it does not crit. Okay. Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Alright, so Mew just hit level 5, and level 25 is important because it unlocks her special that hits all the targets on the field, right?
So that's her, yes, essentially that's her AoE attack.
Right.
This time 9:30. Yeah, 9:30. So you might have seen earlier, why am I particular with April 27 or October 25? It's simply because as soon as I get to the gathering area, I do not want to encounter enemies along the way and to start the grind. So to spawn enemies exactly on that day. So that's the reason. Now here's the tower, the Earthward Tower. So we get to fight. So these are Punies actually. So you just have seen a Puny. Now if we want to be safe,
very cute. This game's version of slimes.
Yes, exactly. So this is Mew's Southern Uni Plus. So it's her AoE physical attack. So
does a lot of damage.
Actually, Marie complements perfectly with Mew's physical AoE. So if Marie does magic AoEs, it complements perfectly with Mew's physical AoE. So that's the reason also why, that's the main reason why I go for Mew as second party member. For the third party member, I did some quite thinking about who would be the third party member, because there are many factors involving this category, most especially for the main boss of this ending. So yeah, so I considered, well, Schea actually, okay, we have to return. The main reason why I would return right now, because the next enemies would be the Mantis, and Mantis really hit hard, especially if Marie dies, and the Mantis have practically low magic defense. So Marie would hit them hard. Mew would not hit them hard because they're quite physical tanky.
Yeah, there's 4 waves of enemies in this tower, followed by the boss. It's always 6 enemies in each wave, and they get progressively harder.
I would guard.
But yeah, you can go back after each one, and the first 2 are much easier than the second 2. So if your party is in critical condition, you'll want to leave early. Thankfully, this part of the grind is very consistent with the enemies, and they give way more XP too. And of course, being level 25 for the area attacks helps a ton.
Okay. No need to waste too much MP.
Yeah. And yeah, John was talking about party members earlier.
I have to make the right call. I think I should return because Google is low on health. Practically, he can tank the slashes from the Mantises, but the worst case scenario with the Mantis, actually, in this segment, what I fear most actually are the Mantises. We will fight the Gargoyles again, but the Gargoyles are less risky before getting to the boss, because the Mantis are quite fast. Actually, they're quite fast.
Yeah.
And they inflict 2 statuses. They can poison you, they can paralyze your whole, just like that. So this is an example of a paralysis. So you cannot.
Mew got paralyzed there, so she couldn't use an attack or a skill. Sorry.
Yes, her special moves actually. She cannot use her special moves. She can melee though, but not special moves.
So yeah, John was talking about party members earlier. Mew is obviously used because of the special attack that hits everything. So Kugel's kind of like the wildcard character, but more or less, party members in this game are not made equally, especially their starting stats. Kugel joins your party I believe, at the highest level out of any party member except for Endirk, which Endirk is another party member, which isn't used for a couple other reasons. So Kugel has a lot of HP and does a lot of attack. He basically carries you through early game. Most of the other party members you sort of have to raise along with Marlon because they kind of start at a low level, kind of similar. But yeah, Kugel starts at a high level to begin with, so that's the main reason that he's really important for this grind, even if he falls off later because he doesn't have like the same really good abilities that some of the other characters do.
And also, I just found out that Kugel in my process of routing this category, Kugel found out to be a fast in grinding because he has tons of physical attack, tons of defense.
Yeah, he just hits very hard early on.
He's quite weak on magic defense. So, but the thing is, there are not many enemies in this category that you can fight with. Okay, we can go back to March 30. Yeah, there are not many enemies who use magic in this category, except for, of course, the elves that we have encountered. And the boss, of course. But sometimes it's, the boss may use magic attacks, sometimes it uses physical attacks. There's no way knowing what it will do.
Yeah. Is there RNG on the boss? Like, the boss will always go first against you, right? Is it possible for it to, let's say, one-shot Marie when we get there?
When I think it's in one of my PB runs that the boss managed to poison Marie.
Poison's really bad.
Yes, but good thing it was a miracle that Marie survived the poison and not survived, but cured the poison by herself. So I do not know how in the world a miracle happened in this game. It's a miracle.
Yeah, so a lot of the enemies in the tower, they're dangerous because they can poison your units. We haven't seen it yet, but starting from the third floor, so there's 5 floors. Starting from the third floor, I think every enemy from that point on can poison. Poison is really messed up in this game. It's a status effect that gets put on your characters. You can use it on enemies too, just not bosses. Basically, when a character has poison for 3 turns, they just die. Every turn they have a chance to cure it themselves, but on the 3rd turn, they just die. It doesn't matter. So yeah, Mario's poison right now. Oh, she just got taken out anyways.
No. Oh, why did I pick the wrong move? Sorry.
Yeah, Mario's dead, so you need to escape, right? Because these ones are weak to magic.
Marie has died.
Dying to them isn't really bad anyway, since we'd be walking back, but you'll need to sleep longer to restore your HP, I guess.
So this is the worst case scenario, literal, that you have seen. So, Spam, you can just say, oh no, I died.
Yeah.
Now, from now on, we're not going to fight the mantises. We're not going to bother fighting the mantises anymore. We can still fight the punies, we can still fight the elves, but it is in the best discretion that whether if you want to fight the mantises. But the problem is the worst case scenario is just there.
Yeah.
So we can only fight the elves and the punies at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, the trade-off for the tower being so good is that because of the way it works, where you just go wave after wave, you can't get the ambush bonus for first move. So your battles have a little bit of inconsistency based on turn order, but still having 6 enemies every single time is much better than dealing with any other grinding spots. It's by far the fastest XP grind in the game. Oh no, me got sniped.
Okay. Time to use best discretion. Okay, it did not do. For some reason, the elves keeps on spamming flurry prayer.
Yeah,
just
it's a
up their
speed buff.
Unfortunately, it's just okay. That's a game over. They did. So yeah, this is one of the main things that made my grind difficult for this category. It's simply because getting a clean run without any death is difficult actually, because
Yeah,
yeah,
the enemies are hard.
needless to say. Yeah, and how should I say this? Yeah, getting the clean run is really a struggle in this category. Especially you don't know what happens.
Yeah, it takes a lot of luck. But we should be getting pretty close now, right? Mari just needs to get to level
Marie
like
is
32.
level 31, but we need to be how should I say this? So 30,
33.
and then we did the bombs. So yeah, we could do 32.5 because we still have the mega bomb on deck.
Yeah, so just probably like, I would say around 3 or 4 more battles from this point, I think.
Actually, 3 visits, probably 3 visits. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see the timeline. Is this one going to be okay? Oh yeah, you're fine. So yeah, one more level on Mari.
Unfortunately, we're in April 30 now, so we have to synthesize for another time. So we need to synthesize this time the Mega Bomb. So take a look, it's 132 days. So that's about 6 months.
Yeah.
4 months actually, 4 months. Yeah,
4 months.
that's August 30, and then after that, that's March 1.
Yeah,
So by the
from
way,
here,
this game has 360 days, not 365 as I have believed.
right, each month is 30 days. And from here, there's, you can see 330 days left. There's 1 year until the end. So since we are playing a normal mode, the boss does need to be defeated before then. Is it worth making a safety save? Yeah.
We need to save. Safety strats. Save. Yeah, at this point, the Punists don't deal much damage. Well, because we are strong enough. But still, the elves pose a bigger threat. Especially, Kugel is not has paper magic defense this time. Mew, I would say, is quite balanced, but she's more on the physical defense side. Yeah, they still like to spam flurry prayers. They keep praying.
Yeah, just 3 self buffs in a row. Easy, easy.
Okay.
Mantis
to
time.
be safe, let's level to. To be safe, let's level to level 33. Because we did the mega bombs at this point. We did the mega bombs.
Yeah. And perfect.
And then we can finally...
Is it time for the time slate?
Yes, it's time for the time slate. Wait. Yes, it's finally time for the time slate.
Alright, time for the legendary time slate. So, time slate is kind of the item that's sort of, it's kind of what you're intended to make to, like, beat the game. It's kind of funny how they made a single item that's basically just sort of required for a lot of the bosses, especially on very hard. You don't need it on, like, easy, but on very hard, the game is kind of balanced around this item existing. You don't need it, but it helps a lot. And obviously, because we're not max level or anything, it's going to carry us hard. So what does the time slate do? It is a consumable item in battle that basically stops the boss for like 3 or 4 turns or something. So your characters will be able, it basically like skips 3 or 4 of the boss's turns. So your characters will just be able to wail on the boss for a while without getting hit. So we definitely want to make this item and use it. It's kind of important. So this is kind of where the RNG comes into play on the boss. If your characters get killed before you can use the time slate because the boss goes first, then that's a problem. So we're making 3 of them, and the time slate's kind of infamous because to make it, you have to complete this mini game. Thankfully, so the mini game, you can see up at the top right. There's good tiles and bad tiles. Good luck. There's good tiles and bad tiles. You have to avoid the ghosts while getting the good tiles and not hitting the bad tile. If a ghost hits you like that, Mario gets put to sleep, and you have to, you get sent back to your spawn. So, looks like we're about done. If you hit
to be cornered, wag kang ma-corner. Okay, good.
The enemy AI can be really painful. But
I managed to do this in, I think, less than 20 seconds. The worst case scenario here is if you complete the mini game in 1 minute. Actually, 1 minute or more actually. So yeah. So I think we have complete equipment, so we can waltz now to March 30.
That minigame is kind of funny. In the original Atelier Marie, that minigame is really infamous for being absurdly difficult to even complete. In the original Marie, it was a word game, so you had to collect certain kana panels, Japanese alphabet basically, to spell out, I don't remember what it was, something to do with time. So you had to collect the right letters and not the wrong letters. And on top of that, the controls were very bad. Mario would snag on corners and it was very difficult to move. The corridors are very thin. Thankfully, the controls are a lot smoother in the remake, so it's not too difficult to pass. It can be difficult to do it without getting caught by a ghost, but that's fine. All right, so all of the items are equipped, the mega bombs, the time slates. All that's left to do is head off to the tower and actually defeat the boss.
So we haven't seen the gargoyles actually. We haven't seen the gargoyles, which is in the 4th floor, but they're relatively
Oh, you did? Okay.
safe actually. Compared to the mantis. The mantis can still potentially kill your party. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm still getting, you're still getting through Ryza 3. Yeah, Ryza 3 it has like the obnoxious speedrun actually. Especially, you just one-shot everything with the weakest bomb that you can get. And that is the reason, that is one of the reasons why I would like this category, because it's quite, you don't get to be way too, how should I say it? You're not one-shotting. That's essentially the reason, one of the reasons.
Compared to like newer Atelier games where all of your power comes from crafting, in this game it's more like a traditional JRPG where you grind up levels to do more damage. To make your character stronger.
Oh no, this is bad. It's consecutive mantis attack.
Uh-oh. And your stats are more balanced compared to the enemies. Okay, Mario lived.
It's quite a miracle also. Well, they did not target Marie all of the time. So, okay, just for backup. Sorry. So, let's just use spinaches.
Yeah, get a little bit of healing. Yeah, we haven't done this before,
I would see after. Oh, okay. Mew got first, so we can use time slate. Now you might ask, why do we need 3 time slates? To be honest, you only need 2. The third one is just for backup, in case the mantises do not obey our requests.
Right. And yeah, as you can see at the bottom right on the timeline, the enemies their turns are all late. There's no danger here anymore.
And also, this is the reason why we need also Mew, because she has that one, a good healing plus defense buff, but that will not be used. That is not needed actually. Yeah, not needed.
The healing is nice so that you're safe for the first turn for the last boss, more or less.
Yes, that is if Mew goes first.
Yeah.
If Mew goes first. If Marie goes first, then she can use her time slate from the get-go. Let's restore some health. And this is also the main reason why we need mystical leaves. We want Marie's MP to restore to full. Some for Mew. Google, okay. Then that's it. Let's go to the boss fight.
Alright, good luck.
Let's go to the boss fight. So, the boss fight is literally can do any worst case scenario that I can think of. So, what's the first attack? That's the ideal case.
Yeah,
That's another ideal case. So,
yeah, so this looks perfect.
the magician just hit consecutive physical attacks. So this is where now we spam the item buff time slate and item buff mega bumps. So the main function for Mew is to give Marie mystical leaves because eventually during the fight she will run out of MPs.
Yeah, items
And
take a
then-
lot of MP.
It's about 35 actually. And then Kugel's main role here is to do chip damage because it is not enough. I'm not sure how much damage did we do with the Mega Bomb. We'll see it again. If we get
it was like
at least 250,
257, right?
that's yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. 246, quite good. One more mystical leaf for Marie, please.
And so, how much HP does the boss have?
It's close to 3,000 actually. To be exact, it's 2,997.
Yep.
So that is why trying to defeat it at lower level is essentially without item buff, it's essentially a death wish. Yeah,
Right.
It's essentially a death wish.
Because you're just not doing enough damage. That's like why we need to grind levels for the stats. Because your stats and the item boost skill from Mari affect your bomb damage. And this boss has quite high defense. So your bomb damage is like, if your level isn't high enough, you're basically doing nothing. You do need to kill it, before the time slate turns are up. So it lasts a very long time, but not forever. And yeah, it
And
takes
also,
12 mega bombs to kill.
I tried experimenting also with other magician users. So I tried the Christ route. Unfortunately, Christ does not deal enough damage with the magic.
Yeah.
So I highly suspect that Marie enjoys the benefit of tons of item bonus. Apart from her apart from her big
Magic attack.
magic attack. Yes, magic attack. So 2 turns. Two bounce away left. Okay, we're good.
Nice.
There we go.
Magician far and down.
Chat, spam clap.
GG.
Clap, GG whatsoever. That's because that is the boss fight, actually. For those who are wondering, how many bosses are there in this game? So, there
That's
are
right, now
only
we're
essentially
just-
5 bosses. 5 bosses. You will be surprised. There are actually only 5 bosses in this game.
Yeah, right now we're sleeping to the end. Mari's gonna get pulled into an ending, and time will be as soon as this cutscene skipped, so time.
Time. So yeah. So this is the a savior ending and very hard.
Yep, very difficult. It's pretty funny how much longer it takes because, like I mentioned earlier, very hard is quite difficult. On easy, you can do this category in 15 minutes.
Yes. And
So the difference is between the difficulties is kind of
that will be
astounding.
featured in the next and that will be featured in the next category. That will explain further how this category in easy mode became 15 minutes.
So I do have one question for you before we go to a break. You mentioned that the non-unlimited mode adds time to the speedrun. What about is the time difference between those two, unlimited versus normal?
Probably around, so Probably around a minute, I would say, but I've never tested
so it's not
it
like
personally.
super big difference.
No,
Super significant. Not really. Yes.
you,
Not really.
you get a short unskippable cutscene every 6 months, and there's 5 years, so there's 10 of those, and they're like 7 seconds or something. So yeah, it's about a minute.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And also, it could be quite significant, especially on how you will route the time around the 5-minute limit. 5-minute limit, 5-year limit. Yeah, you have to change your route for a bit for the 5-year limit.
Yeah, because when you're in limited mode, you can you don't have to worry about wasting days, so you can just like sleep 6 months at a time or whatever, if you miss an event or something. So it's it's a bit more consistent, easier to do backups and stuff, because you don't have to worry about wasting days. Because you could see at the end there of this run, there were only about 6 months left by the time he was actually done doing everything. If you wasted an extra 6 months, you would just lose in the normal mode. Because as soon as you hit those 5 years, if you don't have your ending, it's game over.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thank you. And I think that brings us to a great point for a quick break. Now's a great time to make sure you've stretched your legs, you've got water, you're staying hydrated. We are going to be right back.
Thank you, Tina.
All right, now chat can't hear me. And we are back. I hope that everybody's doing great. We're gonna get back to some more Atelier. Hey chat, just a secret between you and me, just some inside baseball here. Our show tech, Railcoon, absolutely fantastic person. They're great. I need to call this out because when you see a pattern, it's good to name it. Used to be that countdowns were 3, 2, 1. Eventually it moved to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At this point, we're counting down from 10. I can't wait for a few months from now when I get a solid 30-second countdown. Anyway, I've got some announcements for anybody who's shown up since the start of the first run. First and foremost, GDQX will be live from TwitchCon, October 20th through the 22nd. If you're interested in running live at the event, use !GDQX in Twitch chat, or head on over to gdqx.gamesdonequick.com to submit before August 28th. That's coming up, so you'll want to get those in. Anyone accepted as a runner or a backup will receive a TwitchCon badge, and they'll have the opportunity to showcase their run on the GDQ stage. Games Done Quick is going to be at PAX West 2023, September 1st through 4th. If you're interested in watching live runs, or to try your hand at the Speedrun Gauntlet, be sure to head on over to the Speedrun stage at PAX West to find out more. Games Done Quick is hiring. If you have experience in social media creation and want to help out at our live events, head on over to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. If you've missed any of our other Hotfix shows or our past events like Flame Fatales, come on over and check out our VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and any bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help to support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you're enjoying the daily speedrunning content. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then come on over to twitch.tv/GamesDoneQuick if you'd like to catch the live content. It's always a ton of fun. And finally, make sure after these runs are done that you stay tuned because we've got a special showcase of Dredge 100%. And now finally, John, you've got a cool couple of runs. It's not just one run. You're doing 2 runs in one. Is that right?
Yes, exactly, I guess.
Awesome, show us.
Yes. So yeah. This another category. Actually, I would be proud to showcase this because this is, for those who are not aware, I started speedrunning this August, and this category is my very first category that I speedrun before the category that I just showed earlier. And yes, this is the 2 Schea endings, and I would say this is the more story-oriented ending in this game, actually, because the rest of the endings are mostly focused on Marie's achievements. This time, we will involve a friendly relationship between 2 characters. So yeah. By the way, Tina, please. Anyway, so yeah. without further ado, let's start normal mode. Again, we'll do normal mode. We'll do again normal mode just to show that every ending can be done in 5 years. And timer will start in 3, 2, 1, start. So once again, we're doing the usual tutorial thing, the tutorial thingy, just to show that we can do everything from scratch.
Yep.
So this time, we will focus more on the character, her best friend, Schea. So probably Angela could elaborate who Schea is, actually.
Yeah, so Schea is Mari's childhood friend. She's kind of sickly. She starts at level 1, just like Mari. The way Mari treats her is kind of funny in this game. She is like, they come from the same town, like out in the country, and they both moved to Salburg, which is the main like capital city that we're in right now. It's where the king lives. It's the capital of the kingdom. They're childhood friends, so they know each other. And yeah, she is just kind of sickly. And it's going to be a major plot point later on that she basically gets bedridden for a while, and Mari needs to make a really powerful elixir with her alchemy to save her. And that's what we're going to be going for this category, is the ending you get from saving Schea. On top of that, there is another ending where Mari and Schea are both at level 50. And that's basically, you cure Schea and then you make her super strong and you win the martial arts tournament, defeating the nation's greatest knights in that ending. So that ending is also going to be achieved in this run. We'll be going for both of those endings. But yeah, Mari and Schea, good childhood friends. Honestly, I feel like Mari's kind of a brat to Schea a lot of the time. She is like, Mari, you're my best friend. Let's go out and do things. And Mari's like kind of a shut-in. She's like, do I really have to go? Well, I may as well. I should hang out with her. But anyways, yeah.
I'm quite surprised that the details of the lore, you know detail by detail. Because...
Not that much. But this game is overall like pretty short, right? So
yes, exactly.
It came out last month, so it's pretty fresh in my mind. I did play through it, so. Yeah, I usually I tend to forget story details pretty quickly though for a lot of the Atelier games I run.
So good, we got Mew early in the party. And
nice.
Actually, that is the only party member we need to get.
Right, because you're adding Schea.
And yes, we have to babysit Schea for the whole run.
Yeah, so Schea starts off very, very, very weak. Because she's level 1 just like Mari, but she's not going to gain XP from synthesis, and she does basically no damage with all of her attacks. But you do need her in the party for the entire run, because we need to get her to level 50. If she's not in the party, she's not getting XP. And I sort of mentioned this in the last run, but it's even more of a factor in this run. In the original game, party members gained XP from battle through contribution. So if they did no damage, they were gaining no XP. In this game, XP is more standardized. Everyone participating gets XP. But that made getting Schea to max level in the original game very, very difficult, because she does like 2 damage with her attacks. She's very weak. So thankfully in the remake, it's not quite so much of a grind to get her up. She is still quite weak though.
Yeah, and she like Marie, she has paper defense. By the way, I have to keep track of the laugh cap eventually, because we have a completely different set of items we need to synthesize. So 19, that's a good number. Because we need exactly 14 at least 14 laugh caps. Yeah,
you need to keep track of a lot of gathering materials, because the elixir that we need to make to cure Shea's sickness later is very, very material intensive. You have to make like eight each of like 4 different items, and then you can finally make the elixir. It takes forever. They're all like, it's just like this huge synthesis chain. So there's a lot of things that are going to be gathered throughout the course of the run that need to be kept track of so that you can make all of those items for the elixir.
So here's
Also,
an
are we...
example. As I'm about to explain, in the two categories that I will do runs today, just earlier and this one, contrary to JRPG speedrunning, where as much as possible you don't want to entertain random encounters, in this category, we entertain as much as possible. As soon as they get to level 25, the encounters will be rendered useless.
Yeah. So, unlike the last run, which was on very hard all the way through, for this run we are actually starting off on easy difficulty. You gain less XP, but our party is also much weaker since we're not being carried by Kugel. So it's very important to start off on easy difficulty, and you can actually change your difficulty at any point during the run. So once the party gets a bit stronger, the difficulty will be increased just to get XP faster.
Yeah,
because very hard.
Continue.
Because very hard does give basically like double XP. So once you're strong enough to fight those enemies, it's much more worth it to play on very hard. But for now, we're starting off on easy because Schea is unfortunately very, very, very weak.
So what you have just seen is we just gathered so many Hebel waters. And what is this for? It's for the elixir, actually. This is one of the bad examples. But don't worry, magic herbs are repurchasable at the academy.
Yeah,
so
you can buy magic herbs from the shop.
It's not the biggest problem
that was
of our life.
Was that a 14% failure?
Yeah. So that is one of the prime examples that 14% hit.
Yep.
So that is the reason also you would save at one point. Especially if you're about to synthesize an item with... even though it's high probability, the 14% could hit, the 15% could hit. And to some extent, in one of my runs, even if I YOLO the Mega Craft with 94%, I even got 6% hit. So, that's JRPGs
I mean, the
14%
are, it's about 1 in 7 to fail. So it happens with some regularity. I remember back when I was doing normal ending speedruns of this game, the green neutralizers, if you fail anything in that category, it's so short that you just reset immediately. But yeah, the green neutralizers definitely, even though the success chance is 86, when you're doing, multiple runs, a lot of runs in a short period of time, you do end up getting quite a few failures. But for a longer category like this, the failure, while it feels bad, it's an item that's easy to remake later. So it's not a huge deal.
Again, we do the similar thing we did in hard. Actually, this is just my last minute rerouting because it's better to gather more fairy wings than to gather 40 glass and ores. 40 is just, I think it's way overkill, to be honest.
Yeah.
So, and also reputation for fairy wings is quite high also. So that's also another factor. Oh yeah, you have observed earlier, we did not purchase the basket in the earlier run, well, because we did not aim to gather too much. But this time, because we aim to gather so many things, especially the water. You have seen earlier, we did gather almost 60 water. We're done. We're done at this forest. Gather 60 water because to make the elixir, if my computations are correct, you need at least 110 Hebel waters. Let's rest. Let's rest.
So your default basket size is 40. That's how many materials you can carry. Oh, very nice. Fairy wings. There's a single upgrade for it in the game from the shop that upgrades it to 60. So it's very cheap. Good to just buy early.
Yeah, speaking of the theme songs in this game, for some reason, the Atelier theme, yeah, especially the Atelier theme, would stuck on your head for,
It's really catchy.
yeah, it's really catchy.
Alright, 82. Alright, we're good.
We did YOLO the craft. So you just
Yeah.
seen you may YOLO the craft, but I would not advise you to do so because
Usually you can get those to 100 pretty easy. That was very risky.
Yes. And we need to rest because we got our MP drained. We're not getting the quests, so I have to save again. So at this point we can save, but until we get to March 8th. So we will reset. We will load again if we get to March 8th without any good quests.
Yeah.
And also
We
bombs.
do need-
Yeah, speaking of bombs.
So how much money do we need before the sale?
Honestly, it's 7,000.
So one more fairy wing
I don't
request.
think we will get it unless. Oh yeah, the usual Ingrid's assignments. We got the bomb. Oh no. We have to load. We have to load.
Have to load.
That's not good. We did not get another fairy wing. Earlier we got two. If I'm not mistaken, 2 consecutive fairy wings. That's extremely lucky, actually. That's already a candidate for a good run. Nope. We don't sell Hebel Waters. 3-9, that's fine. Academy sales are 2 days.
Yep.
March 8 or March 9, that's fine.
And yeah, the sale is very important. It's 50% off of everything at the Academy shop.
Okay, we
So
don't
just-
have-
Yeah, not enough.
no, not enough. Yeah. Yeah, I would get mad at some point with the tavern quest because especially if we got a good number of fairy wings.
Geez.
And yeah, the tavern quests are really random, to be honest. And that is also why we load so that we reset the RNG for the tavern quests.
I'm trying to remember. Can you get fairy wing requests in February? So
I honestly do not know.
I can't
Is it
remember if you
dependent
can or
on
not. I think they're rarer if you can. So the way rare items work in this game is they're actually seasonal.
We
Okay,
have
you
ones.
can.
We have also
But it's
Vina
not good
shoes.
enough.
After, let's see. Yeah, we can sell bombs. We don't need bombs in
okay.
this category.
Cool.
7,000, more than enough, actually.
Nice.
More than.
So yeah, one thing about requests is, and rare items in general, is they're actually seasonal. So most rare items can only be gathered during half of the year, either autumn and winter or spring and summer. And you will only get requests for those items during that season as well, or starting about like a month before. So because in February is a month before the spring season, you can start getting requests for the rare items for spring as well, which makes getting the ones that you want less likely because it deletes the pool, because there's one slot for a rare item request every time you refresh the tavern. So in a lot of categories, if you can avoid it, you don't really want to try getting requests in February. And if we were in unlimited mode, it would have been better to just sleep until the next winter season to get the requests. But since we are in normal mode, you don't have the spare time. So you do need to save scum for getting them in that first year. So just another thing that's like a difference between normal and unlimited mode. Unlimited mode sort of helps you mitigate a lot of the RNG by making it so that you're not so restricted on what dates you can do things. All right, and once again, we are in Mount
We need the
Wieland
glass
to
and
gather glass and ore because this is the best way to make money.
And reputation.
Yes.
The reputation is what we're after.
But it
1, 2,
can only make you money from the second year forward because you can't sell it until, I think it was until after 1 year has passed, but I don't remember the exact requirement for the Glass and Ore rumor, or was it reputation based? I don't remember. I think it was time based, so.
Yeah, actually it would be, I think it would be exactly the second year. So
I believe it's,
second year.
I believe it's after 1 year has passed. I guess I can explain the rumor system a little bit. So when you go to the tavern, there's 3 options from the barkeep. There's requests, which we know very well. We've done a lot of those. There's talk, which doesn't really do anything. It just gets a little conversation every once in a while. And then there's rumors. And so rumors are very important in Atelier Marie. They're basically how you unlock new areas and new mechanics and stuff. The game doesn't tell you how to get rumors, but they unlock once you've met certain conditions. So, like the rumor that the blacksmith wants glass and ore, which is the rare item we're gathering right now, spawns from the second year on. So when you talk to the barkeep and you purchase that rumor from him, that little bit of gossip, he'll be like, yeah, the weapon master wants glass and ore, and so you can now sell glass and ore to the weapon master, the bald dude. And he'll buy the glass and ore off you for 450 coal each. I guess they're coins in this game. They're called coal in later Atelier game. That's the Atelier currency. But in this game, they're actually silver coins because the lore of the worlds hasn't been established yet. This is the first entry. But anyways, yeah.
So far, we're getting unlucky with the glass and ore. And if you're running the shorter category, if you don't get the RNG you want, the frequency, that is the big, you would reset right away. But in longer categories, it would depend on how well you pace, because again, it's a longer category, so you might save
it's not as big of a it's not as big of a portion of the run. But yeah, every single time you enter and exit the zone, chance for a rare material spawn, and you can be pretty streaky with not getting them.
I'm not marking safe 24.
Yeah, just need like 2 more.
We still need 2, yeah. Or if you get a 3, that's enough. If you get a 3. Oh,
there's one. All right, 3.
Okay. Can we fight the gargoyles in easy difficulty? Actually, yes.
yeah, you definitely probably can. But it's still a little bit of time.
It will be a long fight. Okay,
all right.
You can go home. Go.
Glasson obtained. And yeah, for the start of that section, there's no enemies, but eventually they do spawn because it gets to the 5th month.
Do we have more water? Yeah. We will do another visit to the Hebel Lake. Again, we need about 110 Hebel waters. So we will do another visit.
Yeah, basically another basket full of those.
And yes, practically Marie can put up a water station. Yeah.
Nice, you just got Glasson from the random map gather. So along with when you're traveling on the world map.
Oh, I did not know. I did not see that.
Yeah,
yes,
2 glass and ore.
That's if you happen to get a rare item in your random trip. Yeah, especially with the yellow circles, that could be considered extremely lucky, but it's really rare. It's very rare for that to happen.
Yeah, so when you're traveling on the world map, there's 2 different kinds of random encounters. Every square you go over has a chance to trigger one. One is gathering, which you prefer to show up because it takes less time, and the other is enemies. Although enemies aren't too bad in this run because there's still XP, and we need a lot of XP. But ideally, you want to get none at all because they take a lot of time. Rare items can still be useful if you get them early, but since we've already gathered all of the glass and ore that we need for the run, it's actually not that useful, even though it was very, very rare.
Okay, that's fine. We have an encounter. Oh, it's just
one
one.
enemy?
That's bad. That's bad. But nothing to complain too much.
Also, you might notice John didn't do any inputs during that battle. That's because this game has an auto battle function. On very hard, you don't really want to use it because you will lose, but on easy, since you're just using normal attacks anyway and you don't really care, it's actually faster to just leave it on auto. You can see it blinking at the top right and let your characters just attack the enemies one by one because they'll just use their basic attacks, which you would be doing anyways, but without the menuing time. On very hard, you can't really do that because you need to prioritize specific targets.
We got the eclipse. Okay. Here's the golden peony minigame. Now the question is, should you do it?
No.
To be honest, in speedrunning, we will not do it. Because when you do the golden peony minigame, actually, it will cost you almost the whole 3 minutes.
Yeah, it takes about 3 minutes to finish. You get a couple thousand pull. That's how much we get in like 30 seconds of glass and ore farming. So,
yes.
Unfortunately, we do not get to see that minigame.
But you'll just keep on. The minigame is just bonking all of the peonies. Yeah. You just bonk all the peonies. By the way, we for the gathering here, we need at least 20 Mysticas and then at least 13 wigs. 13 wigs for the elixir. All of this is going for the elixir.
Mystica? Yep.
Yes. Let's check the basket.
28.
Back up. There. We're good. So yeah. What should we do? Yeah, more water. Water station.
You just need endless water. Mari's purpose in life was to synthesize distilled water.
And you'll be surprised if you have played the Risa games. Risa could practically do everything. When I say everything, she can synthesize a weapon. She can be a blacksmith. Fire Sans, how many? 13. Yeah, 13.
Yeah. Back in these older games, so Mario is of course the first game in the Atelier series. Back in these older games, alchemists were a bit more specialized instead of general purpose. They kind of make weird, like magical materials and usable items and bombs and stuff, but for your equipment, you would always go to a blacksmith for a long time. They sort of been phasing that out in the newer games, and now you can just pull fully formed plate armor out of a pot, but who am I to judge, right? It's just, standard power creep things. But yeah, here we're beholden to the whims of the Weapon Master. And Staff of Legend obtained, the most important item in the game. That is
exactly what we need. That is exactly what we need. We want to get the hair serum recipe ahead of time. Okay. We haven't got to level 8, so we need to save because we will synthesize more. So yeah, we will take advantage of the passives. What am I doing? Okay.
Oh yeah, you need more. You need neutralizers. And yeah, Mario has to get to level 8 so that we can open the library for the recipe books.
In a little time.
Yep.
84, no, I will not bet on that. We need to rest. We need to sleep.
And yeah, the success chance for synthesis is based on like how much fatigue Mari has. There's a mechanic called fatigue in this game. The more Mari does things, the fatigue stacks up, and if you sleep, it gets rid of it. So fatigue will lower success rates. Generally, you just want to sleep, and the success rate will go back up. Very, very, very important to keep those success rates high. All right, 2 XP into level 8. Oh, the fairies have been obtained.
Yeah, we have the fairy. We got the fairy.
So the fairies are very... do you use the fairy shop in this category?
Absolutely, yes. Especially the chariot milk. We need the chariot milk.
Right, you need the milk for the elixir. Right.
Yeah, for the elixir. I'll tend the water first. 6. We need 6.
So while we're synthesizing stuff, leveling up and such, if I wanted to pick this game up and start speedrunning it, is there a community? Are there resources? How would I get started?
Yeah, so Mari is, I think this game specifically, especially if you wanted to get into speedrunning the Atelier series in general, I think this game is very, very accessible, even more so than some of the other Atelier games. Like, if you wanted to speedrun the normal ending of this game, runs are like 20 minutes at most. It's very quick and easy to get into. The runs are pretty fun and short. As for a community, we do have a Atelier speedrunning Discord. I am a moderator there. You can also check out, all of the runs on our speedrun.com boards. As far as this game specifically for resources, it came out last month, right? It came out on July 13th. So we don't have any written guides. We do have a Discord channel where people have discussed strategies and, of course, VODs from other runs that have been done. And I am personally, if you want to join the Discord and if you have any questions, I'm very active in helping people personally. I am sure John will be as well, and a few other runners that we have that run this game. But the Discord, the Atelier Speedrunning Discord, is definitely the best place to go if you want to learn anything about speedrunning Atelier games. And the series has a lot of games. There's 25 games, and the speedruns are actually quite different from entry to entry. So,
we got it's good.
If you like RPG speedruns in general, or you're into routing RPG speedruns, I think the series is very interesting in a lot of ways, and there's so much variety, and the games are very cute. You can probably find a game that you're interested in general. But Mario Remake is definitely a good place to start in that regard.
Oops, 81. I have to rest. By the way, just to add to the Atelier RTA, so it's spelled as ATELIERTA. Okay. And then, it's not just Atelier games that people speedrun there. So there are other games also. Ghost games, actually. The whole collection of Ghost games. If you're also into Magical Girls, there's Blue Reflection. If you're into a more action-y packed Ghost games, there's Artonelico.
Yeah. So the Atelier series is developed by Gust, which nowadays is a subsidiary or a part of Koei Tecmo. But Gust has a lot of games in their catalog, not just Atelier. And any Gust game, we sort of encompass the entire catalog in our little speedrun community. Not just Atelier. It is mostly Atelier focused, though.
Yeah, it's actually the series where the Gust company is well known of, the Atelier games. And also, shoutouts to Chloe there, who just commented there about the games. By the way, we forgot. Okay, so the
run has been validated.
Run validated again. By the way, there's also the website named Barrel Wisdom. That is why we keep on talking to the barrel, because it's the source of our knowledge. Source of our knowledge.
The barrels are the barrels are actually kind of funny. So, for those who don't know, Barrel is a bit of a meme in the Atelier series. It's been around since 1997, so when this game came out, it became very popular because of Haruna Ikazawa's cute voice. She's the voice of Atelier Marie, I believe, if I'm remembering right. So basically kind of how it all started is so there were a few test lines in the game for interacting with objects and stuff that they were just doing to test code and stuff. this is kind of the history of the barrel line. So like Mari can interact with certain items. So there's like chairs and barrels. So Isu, Taru, these things. And she would interact with these items just as like a test, right? For their code, because they were just testing things in the game. And these little dummy test lines got left in, and they sort of by accident, they got voiced. Because they were lines in the game. And so the voice actress was just, going through and doing all the lines. And these little dummy test lines weren't supposed to be voiced. They weren't intended to be because they were just test lines. But because they were in the game files, they got voiced and they just got left in like that. Basically just by like coincidence, by accident. They just kept them. And for whatever reason, because Mari is cute, they just kind of like caught on in the Japanese community when the game cut out, and they just got popular. And from that point on, because like the barrel line was really popular in Mari, a lot of people were saying it and like referencing it on social media and stuff, what web forums existed back in the 90s, right? And just talking about it. They kind of kept it for the rest of the games, like in the next game, and it just sort of became a tradition for every game going forward that there would be a barrel that the characters could interact with, and they would say barrel. And so the barrel has just kind of been like an icon of the Atelier series for the past 25 years because of that. So yeah, kind of like interesting lore. All right, so now John is heading to the tower. We get to go there very early in this run because we're on easy difficulty starting out. It's much more efficient than grinding random enemies, and we can actually fight things here because they are not literally one-shotting the party. So that's cool. It does take a while because our characters don't do enough damage and don't have area skills yet, but it's still the best option for grinding XP right now.
And also, it's hard to babysit Schea. Yeah, babysit. Because when I ran with Schea in the category I ran earlier, in the Savior in Very Hard, it took me, I think, 1 hour and 45 with Schea as the third party member. Oh, I forgot to unequip the spinach. So that is one bad event that will happen if Marie equips her spinach, especially in auto mode. So she will just spam spinaches to a party member in danger. Yeah. Suddenly TikTok stream. Because you can practically show your hands and dance while your party members are attacking. And it takes quite a while for the enemies to be defeated.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's kind of funny because it's like a good and sort of like a bad thing that this game has auto mode, because obviously for speedrunning, auto mode is faster because of the menuing. Like when you don't need to actually use strategy for the battles, auto mode's always going to be faster. So on easy, no strategy, you go auto. But so it's like a bit boring, but it's also a nice little break. Definitely very hands-off during this section.
By the way, you might have noticed, why is Marie equipping with still the reflection? The reputation wand, the reputation staff. Oh, I just hit him over because of... See, even in easy difficulty, I just showed you how mantises can knock out your whole party, even in easy difficulty. So that means we just have to fight the Punis again. And the elves. We can fight the mantises because mantises are really tough. Especially with 2 of the party members with paper defense. And how much more if we transcend to the very hard difficulty? So Schea might just die to 2 physical hits, actually. 2 physical hits.
Maybe just 1 even.
If it crits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, paper defense. You might wonder why... I haven't answered again. I kept mentioning... why do we keep still the reputation staff? It's simply because... There are 2 purposes for the... I have to return it's not safe to fight the elves at this point. And then if we get encounters, that's fine because we're relatively low leveled. Yeah. There are two purposes for this. There are two purposes for this reputation staff. Namely, as you have seen earlier, we need it for the principal. We need to make the principal appear. This time, we will need it for the elixir. Second, this will trigger Shea's elixir quest. We need 400 reputation to trigger Shea's storyline quest.
Yeah, and because the reputation bonus from the staff, it's tied to the item, right? So if you unequip it, you lose it. Obviously, you can just equip it again, but yeah, we'll just be keeping it until you no longer need the reputation. You have to meet all of those requirements.
And also, it could cost quite a few seconds for getting that. Oh no, I have to equip the. I have to equip the reputation stuff again.
Yep.
Well, good thing this is a marathon run, so we're not doing competitive timing here.
Still want to go fast though.
How much health do they have? I would not bet on the elves. Will not bet on the elves. It's still bad.
Yeah, not quite high enough level yet. Alright, so that fairy actually wasn't the fairy shop. That fairy offered to clean Mari's room, which you should always take the offer. I can't believe you didn't give the fairy like 5 coal, you monster. This poor little fairy just going around begging people to let them clean their rooms for like a pittance of money. One thing that's kind of funny about that specific mechanic though is it's something I'm really glad they changed for the remake. So in the original game, so you can see in this game too, Mari's room gets progressively messier as you like synthesize and you go longer without having it cleaned. In the original game, the BGM would also change, and the BGM for her room being messy, in my opinion, was really, really like gloomy and annoying to have like playing all the time. So you were like, oh my gosh, when's the fairy coming to clean the room? Like you really want that to happen. Like you can see there's paper strewn about all over the floor.
You know what? I should rest. Yeah, I should rest because I will just keep struggling defeating only punies. Yeah.
Yep. Resting to get that HP back.
And actually, there are 2 ways to restore your HP. So it's either, and actually they both involve days. So you want to rest on the atelier for, that's one way. Second way is very passive. Just keep traveling. Yeah. Keep traveling.
You can also buy a bunch of spinach and use that, but it's pretty slow because they only heal like 25 at a time.
We're running another category. Yeah, you just mentioned. Yeah. And this also shows how change in one party member affects the whole run.
Yeah, because Kugel from the start, because of his high level, he will be one-shotting everything and also be so tanky that you don't need to go back and heal all the time.
And also, Kugel has high attack. That is one essential thing about Kugel.
Yep.
If you go waltz into the forest with Schea and any of either Kugel or Mew, Schea just deals pitiful physical damage actually. She just deal like less than 10 in very hard difficulty. So that is why it's a struggle to babysit Schea.
Yeah.
Throughout the run. But she can be an excellent support as we will see later. She can be an excellent support, but unfortunately, little did I knew that she's outclassed by Mew actually in all aspects. Because Mew can stack your party's defense. Schea is just a generic HP healer. So just in Pokemon language, she's just a Chansey.
At least when she hits level 25, she does get an ability that does a lot of damage.
Oh yeah, we can get to slow down the animation, and actually it sounds it looked funny. Oh no, I made the wrong call again. But
It'll be fine. Maybe.
Marie died.
Yeah, okay. It won't be fine.
Come on, run. Look at that, 17 damage on easy difficulty. So that shows how paper defense Schea has. Okay, we got our escape.
Mia isn't completely dead, thankfully.
Oh, we hit another eclipse, but we don't need it. We don't need the Dunkel height. That's for another category.
Yeah.
どこに行こうかな。ワクワクパラ？これは。
Yeah, I haven't mentioned the endings. So there are actually 7 endings in this game. I'm not sure if are any more endings, but as far as I know, it's 7.
Yeah, it
there's
should be. Not including the bad ending, or no, including the bad ending.
We
right?
include the bad ending, of course.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, so there's 6 good endings and then 1 bad.
So yeah, and the normal ending, the savior ending, philosopher's stone, professor, and there's the researcher ending. All point out to Marie's accomplishments. And the category we're running today is story-oriented, which is, yeah, she is more of a storyline between Marie and Schea.
Yep.
And yeah, we will take time in this grind all the way to 25 because they don't have any AoEs. And also grinding in very hard with 2 party members that have paper defense is awful, actually. It's awful.
Yeah,
Schea
so
can survive a single hit from a gargoyle.
Yeah, because
Next.
Schea is so weak,
どうしようかな。
this grind actually ends up taking a lot longer than grinding to 25 and very hard, even though very hard is much more difficult.
Yes, exactly. And Schea can take, probably she will die faster than what? Than your normal menuing. Normal menuing. Oh yeah, while we're at it, since this is just grinding all the way to 25, we still have 10 levels. Let's go to the interview portion. So yeah, Angela, how did you? Of course, this is our very first. For the people who are not aware, this is our very first exposure to the GDQ platform. So I think it's good to start asking questions about ourselves. When did we start speedrunning, or how did we get ourselves into speedrunning? So we'll let Angela answer first. So yeah. How did we get
Yeah.
into speedrunning?
So back in like 2019, when Atelier Marie came out, I was just like, I don't even remember. I was just like, let's try and play the game fast. So I did. And I've been speedrunning Atelier ever since. I've run actually most of the games in the series at this point.
Ha! I got game over again with that. This is the reason why this is
Mantises aren't
the
worth
reason
it.
why I hate mantises in the tower. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not the gargoyles that I would hate. It's the mantis actually, because they're pretty brutal. Please continue.
どこに行こうかな。
Yeah. The Atelier series is like very dear to me, right? I think the games are really fun. They have a lot of good and interesting mechanics that are pretty unique to them, I think. They make them very fun from like a routing perspective for speedrunning. And that's sort of what I'm more into. I think the Atelier games are very interesting, like routing problems, because of all the possibilities with the crafting system. There's not really usually a straightforward, correct answer for a lot of these games. So
Yeah, that would work also in other games in general.
Mhm.
So it's since so it's in your primary interest with the Gust games, the Atelier games to be specific.
yeah.
Yeah. So what was your first speed game though? What was your first speed game?
Atelier Marie. I mean,
Huh? Rise?
Yeah, I started with Ryza. I mean, maybe I don't remember the timeline. I also played Celeste a bit, but I don't think I really speedran it too much until after I started with Ryza, but maybe I did it like very casually. I don't remember. It could have been Celeste.
Yeah, I was a witness also with the Celeste speedrun grind, and it all came down to, especially the any percent one. The 80% one is really down to like what, good execution. To some extent,
Yeah,
it could be even
it's
frames.
kind of the complete opposite from Atelier games, where it's all execution and not a lot of like routing and RNG. But yeah, Atelier Ryza, very, very good game. It kind of got me hooked on speedrunning because it's a lot of fun. And I just kept playing Atelier games ever since then. So I did decide to start speedrunning Marie.
But you did also play some other games too, some other niche games, I would say.
何も起こらないといいけど
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while I speedrun deck builders.
Okay, so this time, as for me,
どうしよう
uh,
さあ行くわよ
I've been a witness to speedrunning since 2018, to be honest. Yeah, I've been a witness. It's just this month of August that miraculously, that I felt the need to move. That, okay, I want to do an actual speedrun. But I did not think that Atelier Marie would be my very first speed game. Let Atelier series alone. I've been interested in speedrunning since 2018. It's just that it's 2023 that got me into moving. And finally do some things that I want to do. Yeah.
I was actually really surprised how fun this game is to speedrun. At least I think it's pretty interesting for as simple as it is.
And also the problem of routing some of the top categories. Yeah. And I would say also Atelier series could be a good it would be a mix of balance when you talk about speedrunning, because some games are not too long, some games can be quite long.
どうしようかな
Because I have seen other RPG speedruns which are like what? The normal category is like 12 plus hours. Probably you know the series that I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about Atelier games is a lot of them hit a nice like sweet spot for length. Many of them are around 1 to 2 hours or 2 to 3 hours. If you go back to the PS2 games, Atelier Iris and Manakemia, which are probably some of the more well-known ones, at least around the like English like JRPG communities, before Ryza, of course. Those games are quite a bit longer, from like 6 to 10 hours, but the more recent games are all like mostly 1 to 3 with a couple exceptions. And then of course you have Marie, which can be as my PB, the world record in Marie for the normal ending, which we are not doing in this showcase, is 12 minutes. So this game is quite accessible because of its length. It's very short. If you want to get in and learn an Atelier game, this is a great one to start with because it's just super quick to learn and just start having like good times.
By the way, since Angela mentioned the normal ending in the remake, shoutouts to Grumpmeister, because he was practically the very first person who showcased this game. And he featured the normal ending in the remake. So I think it's in my duty now to show the original one. Yeah, it's especially to give justice to the game's history. Yeah, shoutouts to Grumpmeister. He did showcase. So that practically makes me the second person to showcase this game, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the high time also. This is the high time to showcase Atelier games, because for those who are not aware, I think someone commented earlier about the Atelier anime. Yes, there is an anime based on the first Atelier Ryza that is currently airing this season. Yes, this season. So I think this is the high time also to showcase some speedruns, some commentary about what this series is about. Oh yeah, probably you might not have asked why I would speedrun. What got me into this game? Because first and foremost, if you're much of a common RPG player, it would be, how would I say it? Of course, niche is already it's already there, but how frequent would you encounter an Atelier game as an RPG player, or how relevant it is? Because that's always the question, how relevant it is. So I'm going to well, Angela answered because it is in her profound interest. Yeah. Oh no, we're about to die with the
Still not strong enough
mantises
for the
again.
manti.
No, we cannot save Marie anymore. Nope. That's fine. Well, we're close to September 30, so we could rest. Yeah, we could rest.
Do you still have enough time to make the elixir? Oh my gosh.
Ah, yes. We're on time because this is the start of third year, actually. The Schea
Yeah.
quest will be on the month of May. Yeah,
Yeah.
on the month of May. Continuing on. What piqued my interest in the Ryza series? Well, to be honest, when I first played the Atelier Ryza, it was Ryza 2 that was my very first game, and I was astonished with how they approached the RPG aspect of the game, where people would say it's a left field, and actually it's left field because most of the JRPGs that I have played are mostly have dark tones, are combat intensive, something like that. I did that auto, sorry.
Right. The Atelier games are very like cute and a lot more slower paced for sure.
And also, that was my very first time encountering a different approach to JRPG, where the main premise is on item crafting. Because name all JRPGs that you play: Pokemon, SMT Persona, Final Fantasy, Tales series. Well, I haven't played sorry. I haven't played even Xenoblade. Most of them, their main premise is on combat. Yeah. Atelier was originally conceived. Oh, really? If we consider this game, you wouldn't know that there's a dark force. Actually, something like that. You would not originally know, especially if you consider the normal ending, as if Marie is not conscious that there's an evil force. Yeah, something like that.
The manti back.
Yeah, it's not the. Well, even if it has dark tones, it's not the dominant theme. It's not the dominant theme. Unlike if you have played Tales, or even, Tina would know that, because especially Final Fantasy, there would be, especially Tina is a Final Fantasy speedrunner. Final Fantasy is much more of what? Oh no, we have unleashing darkness. We need to defeat this darkness. While Atelier games, okay, let's just go on an adventure. Let's do crafting. Let's replace the blacksmith. Let's replace the water station. Let's replace everything. We can just do everything with alchemy. Something like that.
It's pretty common trait in like Atelier protagonists that they just want to help people with their alchemy.
Hey, just a quick heads up. Only you can hear me. The chat can't hear me. We are a little bit past 50.
I risked gargoyles, sorry. I risked the gargoyles. I thought we can fight the gargoyles. That's fine. Wait, what is my level though? I want to know. I have never been... Oh, 20, okay. Okay, we'll entertain encounters. Yes. After the next tower run.
ワクワク
Darkness makes you reset.
ど
Yeah.
うしようかなさあ行くわよ
You're a bit quiet compared to the rest. Just earlier, before the start of the show, Tina was just talking about Yoshi.
Did the stream hear Tina? Oh, it's fine. Yeah, I suppose we will be going into a short break after this tower run, I believe.
She's not as quiet as you chat. We risk too much, yeah. I got absorbed into talking. Yeah, that is the joy of a marathon. I think we're good for the mantis. And then we'll do a wellness break.
Can do it.
Yeah, we can dance again. Wow.
Yeah, this looks fine so far.
Chat, you can always dance with your hands, my left and my right, as they fight in auto mode. But eventually when we get to the hard mode... Oh! Okay, I have to run. I accidentally got up. Come on. We're not doing auto mode. Just look at that. The gargoyles really hit hard with their swipes. With their fury swipes. Yeah. I think we can do wellness break. Yeah.
Yeah, short break. We'll
Wait,
see y'all
let's-
again in a few
All right,
minutes.
sounds good.
Yeah, we'll save.
Yep. So we are going to take a quick break, everyone. Now's a great time to, again, stretch your legs, get the blood flowing a little bit. We are going to be finishing up this run right as soon as we get back. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We are going to be finishing up this run, these runs. We've got multiple runs happening concurrently. It's amazing. But first, just for anybody who just showed up, just a couple announcements, and then we will get right back to the speed gaming. GDQX is going to be live from TwitchCon October 20th through the 22nd. If you're interested in running live at the event, use !GDQX in Twitch chat, or go to gdqx.gamesdonequick.com to submit before August 28th. Anybody who's accepted as a runner or a backup will receive a TwitchCon badge and the opportunity to showcase their run on the GDQ stage. Games Done Quick will be at PAX West 2023, September 1st through the 4th. If you're interested in watching live runs, or if you'd like to try your hand at the Speedrun Gauntlet, be sure to come on over to the Speedrun stage at PAX West to find out more. Games Done Quick is hiring. If you have experience with social media creation and you want to help out at our live events, be sure to go to gamesdonequick.com/jobs to apply. If you've missed out on any of our other Hotfix shows or past events like Flame Fatales, be sure to check out the VODs at youtube.com/gamesdonequick. Your subs, your Prime Gaming subs, your gift subs, and any bits cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel help support Games Done Quick Hotfix. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy the daily speedrunning content. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and then come on over to twitch.tv/gamesdonequick if you're interested in watching our content live. It's always a great time. And finally, after these runs are done, because remember, multiple runs, same time, it's amazing. You will want to stick around though, after these are done, because we're going to have a showcase of Dredge 100%. Speedrun that I wasn't familiar with it, and it took me very little learning about it to become extremely excited, you're not going to want to miss this one. It's a ton of fun. Speaking of fun, though, John, I'm really having a lot of fun watching this. I think that we should continue.
Oh,
Count us in whenever you're ready.
yeah, that's a lot of... Yeah. That's a big compliment coming from you, Tina, especially from someone who speedrun, fellow JRPG speedrunner. Yeah. So yeah, we're continuing the grind. What happened? Yeah. Okay. So I've seen a comment earlier. Yeah, the Atelier games that don't end up having some big world crisis. Yeah, even if you know that in a certain point in a JRPG you have a big world crisis, you wouldn't feel that there's a big world crisis at the very end as soon as you finish the game. Yeah, because again, the dominant theme is actually the premise is not just item crafting, but how should I say it? Soft tone of the story. Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in Marie specifically, right? She's
Yes.
really just trying to pass her classes.
Within a period of 5 years.
Yeah,
And then she's not even aware of the darkness
right?
until she reaches the top of the tower.
And
Yeah.
of course, you know, she's just like, she stumbles into defeating the Demon King that's been plaguing their town for ages, but that's whatever. Completely inconsequential.
Even in the Ryza... I pitch up my voice. Yeah, even in the Ryza games, even if you have defeated the darkness, you're still left with more quests that have soft tones, not too intensive, not too anything. So
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, like an alchemist's job is helping out around town. They're kind of like handymen in that regard.
Exactly.
Alchemists take on a bunch of odd jobs, but that's kind of like one of the things that's at the core of the series. At the heart of it is that an alchemist is someone who just does odd jobs and tries to help people. And, you know, they'll do battle and stuff every now and then, but it's not a main focus of their duties. Of course, that depends from game to game as well. There are actually some Atelier games you can even play almost completely pacifist, like Atelier Verona, the 11th game in the series. You can, I believe, finish the entire game without a single battle encounter. And for that matter, this game as well, although it's much more difficult to do so.
Or you can just resort to just rare gathering, actually.
Yeah.
You have to resort to rare gathering.
Yeah, if you wanted to do a pacifist run of Marie, you would have to only travel on the world map during safe months, and you'd have to level Marie up to level 8 completely through synthesis. But you could do it, for sure.
どうしようかな。さあ、行くわよ。
Wait, does running count? yeah, running should
Yes,
count.
running counts, running counts. No encounters. I guess you'd fail in the tutorial. But outside of the tutorial,
Yeah, I've watched a couple of how should I say this? The rules regarding challenge runs. So there are inevitable moments. So yeah, tutorial would not be counted at that point. Yeah,
yeah.
challenge. Not even aware of the darkness. Nice place to be. But even if you're not aware with the darkness, you still have conflicts. There's still some sort of conflicts, especially in, for example, in this game, you have to pass the exam. Now I have to comment also on the plot. When I first played the game, even though it has a soft tone, it reminded me of my current situation in grad school, because Marie is
Right.
struggling with her studies. She has 5 years, and normally 5 years probably in the States, in Japan also. 5 years is an average length for a grad school. So yeah, actually I would say this is a good game if you're to not just relax yourself, probably to motivate something, because I personally like the plot, although I did not pay attention to the plot too much. That you can use a certain game as like what motivation to finish your studies, because throughout the game you will see Marie persevere with her studies. So yeah,
Goes down.
you
Yay.
should be. By the way, no. We're not fighting the boss yet.
We're not fighting the boss. We are basically
Actually,
getting to level 25 now, so that's cool.
Yeah, we're close. Let's rest. Actually, we will fight the boss, because later
こうかな
we will trigger another change in the tower. Yeah.
何かいるよ
I don't
Again,
remember the ending priority. Fighting the boss doesn't mess that up.
Yes. I have to comment with the ending. In the earlier category that I ran, a savior ending, so the only requirement is to defeat the boss. Now, what happens in the Schea? What happens is the Schea and the game thinks that if I level up Marie to level 50 and even Schea to level 50, what will happen is the game will override that savior ending, because thinking, actually this is just my hunch, the Schea endings are ranked way higher than a savior ending. Actually,
Yeah.
it ranks higher than all other endings.
Yeah, each
My hunch
ending
is-
has a priority, right?
Yes, especially if you're going to look at the achievement list of the game, I'm surprised that the legendary pair is the golden one and not the researcher one.
Yeah,
My hunch here
legendary
is-
pair is the highest priority for sure.
And also Marie's adventure. Of course,
Yeah.
the legendary pair is the highest priority. You could distinguish because it's a matter of if Schea is level 50 or not. And that's the priority. And the game thing, my hunch is simply because it's more laborious to level up party members to level 50
どうしようか
than to collect. Because the Philosopher's Stone and the Researcher ending is practically item collection. Most of the time you will collect items. A Savior is just simple combat that you can do it in easy difficulty in less than 15, about 15 minutes actually. About 15 minutes. And then there's the normal ending, which you can just practically do within 15 minutes as well. Yeah, but Angela's world record is sub 12.
どうしようかな
So that's something else.
行くわよ
So what I wanted to say here is the task of leveling up Schea all the way to level 50 is Marie and Schea to level 50 is a laborious task.
Yeah, it's a much longer grind than any of the other ending requirements for sure. Although, I think probably in this version of the game, the researcher ending where you have to completely complete your item guide is probably a little bit lengthier to do than grinding to 50, but in the original version of the game, grinding Schea to level 50 was much more difficult because, like I mentioned before, they got XP based on combat contribution. So because Schea does very little damage, it was very difficult to level her up in the original game. And that's like the big reason why the ending that requires her at level 50 is the highest priority. And why does this ending priority matter? So once you get to the time limit, the end of the 5 years, the ending you get, you can only get one ending per playthrough. So if you want to get all of the endings in a single run, what you have to do is kind of stagger them, right? You have to unlock their requirements on priority. So for like the normal ending, which requires you to make a rank 6 item, it's very easy to do. You have to trigger that one, and then you basically sleep to the end of the game to trigger the ending to get it. Because as soon as you meet the requirements for another ending, you'll be locked out of that ending. Oh my gosh, was Mario poisoned? So yeah, it's very important that you don't overwrite an ending you're going for with another higher priority ending. And that's going to come into play in this category that we're doing specifically because we're going for 2 endings. So what you have to do is we're going to be making the elixir to cure Schea for Shea's ending. And then we're also going to, we're going to sleep to the end and trigger that ending. And then after that, we're going to reload the save and then finish the requirements for the legendary pair ending and get that one as well. So the ending priority is something you have to sort of route around. And especially if you're doing a 100% run of the game, it would be where you have to get all of the endings. It would be very important to make sure that you're getting them in that priority order so that you don't miss any of them.
Why did I get...
Oh no.
I forgot something. I forgot something. I did not upgrade my weapons.
Oh yeah, that'll make a big difference.
I did not forget the weapons, so that's the fatal mistake I made. But it's still solved. It still can be saved. Yeah, it still can be saved. We're not doing the... No. I forgot. Yeah. Good thing we're in a marathon. That is why... Schea needs her fancy duster. We don't have enough money. We cannot sell the reputation stuff yet. I think now is the time to equip Marie of cosmic stuff while we wait for more money for Mew.
Yep.
And then we can equip the reputation stuff later.
And yeah, so Mario will be doing a lot more damage now because this we got a staff from the Weapon Master's questline that increases her magic damage by quite a bit. So
yes, exactly.
Very important.
Yeah, you mentioned about the... What's this? Yeah, especially the researcher ending did... I think the researcher ending was greatly reformed in the remake. Especially, you need to obtain equipments as well. Weapons, actually. Yeah, weapons. Not just your usual 100 items.
Yeah.
And that seems a harder category because you don't... I still don't know if it is actually quest luck. Yeah, quest luck under a quest. If you need multiple, I'm pretty much certain that you need multiple playthroughs.
You don't need multiple, but it's definitely difficult.
Especially routing the dates. Yeah, the dates also. The dates.
Yeah.
You have to be too particular about the dates.
So, what level are you grinding to before you increase the difficulty?
Actually, I want to defeat the boss first before we change the difficulty.
Gotcha.
To be honest, yes. As early as level 25, we can change to very hard, but we want to defeat the boss first because we want to trigger the change in the tower, and then we'll grind. We want to trigger the change in tower before trigger the change in tower. That is after we get to level 35.
Yeah.
Yes, the level 35 is still in play again because once we trigger the change in the tower, as we will see later, the enemies are... You will see through horror.
Yeah, they...
Through horror.
Yeah, so once you defeat the boss once, the tower basically, it goes to hard mode. But at hard mode, you get more XP,
yeah,
so...
better damage.
Yeah. Much better damage.
By the way, fun fact, this boss, I think it has only like 400-ish HP on easy difficulty. So that's how way different the boss stats are from easy to very hard.
Yeah, at 3000 on very hard, it's much easier here.
And you can
And it's already
trust
done.
on auto mode. And you can trust on auto mode. Yes, that's another thing.
Yep.
You can trust auto mode. But we're about to change difficulty here.
So you have to get a rumor for that, right?
Actually, it's not a rumor. It's on the bulletin board. Yeah. As we will see later. So yeah, we will take advantage of the difficulty change. But first, we need to rest. And we're on year 3. We're approaching May 13. We're approaching May 13 little by little. Okay, but I'm too busy for that. I'll just say yes, just to get your hopes up. Yeah, we need the usual grind again, but that is until level 35 again. But we got to level, I think, 26, 27, 28. So it will be much of a shorter grind this time. Oh! I'm still using auto.
Can't auto here.
Well,
At least Schea does damage now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because yeah, we are on very hard now. The enemy's actually hurt. The levels are high enough that we're still fine, but you can't auto anymore because your characters won't use their AoE attacks, so.
Yeah, and sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So
right, it's not consistent. It's not reliable.
It's quite dangerous. Mew.
Marie's HP is very low. Okay, 2 prayers. Are we fine? Nice.
How in the world did you survive?
1, 2, 7. I have like no HP left. Alright.
Oh yeah, we're closing to level 35, yeah. We cannot risk again 2 mantises, it's bad.
Yeah, surely the Mantire not worth it.
Is this a rare item? Oh, not a rare item. So yeah, it could potentially waste 5 seconds for every item pickup that is not necessary. So that's also another thing to factor in the time. 5 seconds animation that Marie will just pick up item out of nowhere.
Flunk. The poor slimes. You always feel so bad.
Uniball. Yeah, this is one of the places you can obtain Puniball. Actually, you can fight any Puni and obtain a Puniball. But if in case you don't trigger Pox ahead, oh, Marie just died right there. Okay, I hope we can save this with Schea. Just look at that. Schea just casually throws her mop and then she does a One Punch Man attack. So that's her signature move.
She's really weak early on, but if you actually train her up, you do get payoff. She gets a very strong single target nuke.
Like that. You slap the foe with your mop and then you just casually One Punch Man. Okay, return again. Support. Okay. Okay. Okay, chat, you can meme for 20, fine.
But yeah, for a while from here, we are going to be I mean, this category is mostly a fairly long tower grind. At least it goes quite a bit faster now, and it's going to be going even faster once we hit level 35 for the awakened version of the tower, but...
Oh, so that's what you would call the tower, awakened version. Yeah, I would call it... sorry for the people, okay, so... I would say this is a legitimate criticism of the Atelier games is actually the lack of enemy variation, because as you will see later, the most of the enemies we have been fighting are just the same species, same everything. Elves, bandits, name them all. And then as we see the other version of the tower, Angela would call it awakened. I would call it recolored. Just with better stats. Yeah. But again, it depends on you, the viewer, the gamer. How would you take it? Because as we have mentioned earlier, the main premise of the Atelier games is not really combat. Yes, it has combat, but it's not your dominating theme. Yeah, it's not your dominating theme. 4:30. Okay, I think we'll trigger Shea's quest now. Yeah, because we need to rest. So let's trigger Shea's quest. And back to the reputation stack. Oh yeah, we haven't up and up our reputation.
Oh yeah, you need to get it up to 400.
Yeah, we need 400. We have to save because we will trigger tavern quests again. Oh yeah, that's the first time we saw the Mega Craft quest.
Yep.
Or I haven't. I did not check the tavern. Yeah.
That's fine. That's
Nope.
fine.
Nope. Nope.
You're pretty close to 400, so it should be okay.
Yeah, and we still have backup Mega Crafts. That's the thing. That is why if we were to synthesize Mega Crafts, 10 is a safe number, relatively.
Yep.
8 to 10 rather, 8 to 10. Puny balls, okay. We have
that's
tons
fine.
of puny balls. We did defeat so many. We slayed so many puny balls. That's not too.
Alright, surely on this one.
No.
Don't
We have
need
so
more
much.
penny balls. Yeah.
Oh, fine.
Alright, one more, probably. It'll be fine, right?
Hope so. Well, that's fine. We still have. This. Okay, I think. No. I should not load because I did not save before the Mega Craft. When I received the Mega Craft. By the way, we're already on 4th tier. So.
Should be okay, I hope. The elixir does take quite a while to make, though. There you go. Perfect.
400. Just extra. Just to be safe. Yeah.
Yeah, in case it goes down for various number of
Wait,
reasons.
what's
Your
it?
reputation
Yeah.
can lower.
We trigger
Alright.
the principal first, and then we can trigger Schea after. Principal. So we trigger the principal. This time we will trigger Schea this time. And then all it did is just bump. And then yeah. We just have to entertain encounters. I thought it was
Don't give her
something else.
those. Yeah, the teacher will come to the door and be like, "Hey, she is sick." Oh, not yet.
We're not going to the market. So
Okay.
Schea left the party, so that means we have to do her quest ASAP. Because
Yeah,
we
as soon as she's sick, she leaves the party. Obviously, we can't get her XP while she's out of the party, so we do need to
just to
complete the
be-
quest for her.
So we need. Okay, we have the things we need. Okay. Yeah, the recipe. Yeah, the recipe. Oh yeah, it did not trigger. Yeah, of course we need Mystica Tea. Mystica Tea.
Yeah, and we'll just be going through here for a little while. to get to the... There
So-
it is. There's the elixir recipe.
工房に
So just to be safe, I need to save because for some
If we
reason.
get any failures,
Yes.
we might run out of
Exactly.
time.
Okay, Altena Salve, we need 2.
Although Mari's level is pretty high, so most of the success rates will also be very high. Because success rate
Also, if you
scales with
factor-
Mari's level.
So 2 Mystic Keys, level 33, that's good. Elixir. Okay, we need... Oopsies! We need another trip to the lake.
ワクワ
Were you out of water?
クさて
I think I'm out of water, but just a couple of water.
Yeah.
So yeah, backup strats. We need the water. We need more water. I think I synthesized too much
かな
distilled water. Yeah,
Mhm.
distilled water. Too much.
工房
But that's
That's
fine.
okay, it's very quick,
That's
yeah.
just a few seconds.
Yeah, when you're
We
playing
needed
casually, though,
2.5.
when you're playing casually, this elixir part of the game is really, really painful because it requires so many materials. So when you don't have them all routed out, you have to make all these items. It takes forever to gather everything you need.
Yes,
Thankfully
exactly.
for a speedrun, though, it goes pretty quick.
Yes. So we have
And
now
there
the
it is.
elixir, so we can give to our best friend. But we have to rest for a while until she is finally well.
Yep.
Ta-da!
Yay, she's
So,
back. Then you have to go add her to your party again.
Then-
なるなる
Okay, so we're back to grinding to level 50 again. So this time, level 35. Level 35. Oh yeah, if we encounter dogs, that's fine, I guess, because...
You'll just get XP from them.
Oh yeah, I forgot to adjust the equipment again. But
Whoops.
anyway, we still have Mew. That's good.
Yeah, Mew will be good enough for the first trip. Yeah, Mari still has the Staff of Legend equipped, so she can't use her area ability. Since that is tied to the Cosmic Staff, I believe.
Yeah. So Marie's closing to level...
かな
Actually, to be safe, let's go
Yeah,
back.
just equip it.
Yeah, and then... Yeah, we equip. Because we're finally done. And then weapon shop.
Yeah, should be
We
able to
buy
get glass in for Mew.
Yeah. We did earn enough money from the Mega Craft.
あらこれはどうしようさあ行くわよ
Oh, I'm seeing a bit of sunlight.
Oh yeah, you're in Japan, right? It's like 5 in the morning there.
Yes, exactly.
Great time for speedrunning.
どうしようさあ行くわよ
Yeah, and good for my sleep schedule. Yeah. But yeah, sleepless nights worth it, I guess.
Yep. But yeah, now most of the rest of the run is just a comfy little tower grind. We do need to stop right before level 50 just to make sure that we get the right endings. Don't overwrite with the ending priority, and then go back and level to 50 for the legendary pair ending as well. So but we
Okay,
will get
so-
close before then.
So this is the bulletin board. So this will trigger now the changes to the tower.
どこに行こうかな
So you will just see. You
何かいるよ
The
Middle
Puni
of
are
the
black now, right? They're very spooky looking. That's all a dog is.
Ah, sorry. We just need Marie to attack. Yeah, even in very hard, dogs at low level can deal so much damage. It's quite significant. Still significant.
どうしよう。
Middle of the night is when PBs happen. Is it proven statistically though? Proven
Of
statistically.
course.
Middle of the night.
Oh yeah, they're
Okay,
like
so
metallic now.
we have now the Punies. Yeah. We still don't
This is
have
silver puny.
Schea's silver puny, yeah. And they hit hard. Just look at that, 100 damage. So you definitely need good firepower for this game. For this grind actually.
Is this safe? Okay, they're buffing. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
they will just, most of the time, if they attack, they will just spam puny flashes. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I don't think it's safe to fight the
どうしよう。
Probably not.
the bandits and the elves. Yeah, little slimes.
どうしよう。
We don't need, we're done with the quest.
And yeah, as you can see now, we're getting like an entire level per run, so it's going a lot faster.
Yeah, those are fast experience. So it's at least 60.
It's like- Yeah. It's like 3 times the experience from the previous versions or something.
From previous versions. I thought you were going to say easy. Yeah, it's practically double.
Oh, is that about double?
Yeah, that's about double actually. If we are comparing it with the easy one.
どう
Oh, no, I mean to like the green and pink punies. The silvers are like triple, I think.
Compared to green, well, probably. Well, it scales with level also, so
Yeah.
what level?
Uh-oh.
This is the reason why we want also Schea to be 35, so that you have 2 healing members. So this is one advantage of using Schea in the party. You can use her to fully heal your party. Not necessarily.
Uh-oh.
How in the world did they spam? How in the world did they spam? Or
Yeah, that's
I
pretty
think
unlucky.
just spam.
Triple puny flash?
They'll just spam puny flashes. So yeah.
Nice. Clutch. Me clutching out. But yeah, these ones are super deadly, but the reward is absolutely worth it.
どうし
Yeah, one level at a time, I guess. You know, one joke I would say about Punies is, if you know the Pokemon Solosis, you could practically dye it with any color and you have a Puny. Yeah. if you know the Pokemon Solosis. Because a Solosis is just another blob breed. Yeah.
どこに行こうかな。さあ、行くわよ。
And they're totally not inspired by Dragon Quest.
どうしよう。さあ、行くわよ。
Wait, now that got me into thinking, which came first? Is it the Dragon Quest or the telegames? By the way, I haven't played any Dragon Quest.
Dragon Quest is from the 80s, so
Wait, is it about the same batch as Final Fantasy?
don't remember.
Because, yeah, looking at the history, it's Final Fantasy and the SMT series or Shin Megami Tensei series are about the same, almost the same, or between years, 1 year between, to close. Yeah, and then the Atelier, which celebrated its 25th, shares the same decade with Tales, Pokemon, what else? Yeah, those are.
さあ、行く
Yeah, this game came out in 97.
Ah, okay. Dragon Quest was before FF.
Oh gosh, we're fighting mantises. Heck,
I have to run.
you have to die.
I have so many deaths. Gosh.
That's
Wait,
fine.
1986 to 1987. So that's about a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
At
about a
least
year.
deaths aren't like super punishing, so it's not really a big deal. You do lose a bit of time, but not much else.
どうしようか。さあ、行くわよ。
But you lose, how should I say this? You lose the chance of fighting. Okay, just don't hit Marie, please. Oh no.
Oh no.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, I was like, huh, you didn't heal, that's brave.
Yeah, some JRPG speedrunning sometimes would take advantage of that. You have taking so much risks. But yeah,
Yeah.
lesson learned. You have to heal.
ワクワク。あら？
And again, good thing we're in a marathon and not on a competitive stage. So
これは
it's not big of a deal. As long as we get to the estimate. Actually, yeah. Regarding the estimate, I am too generous with the estimate because earlier I died a couple of times in the grind, in the tower as well. Yeah.
Longer categories in this game get really, really, there's a lot of variation, so.
Yeah, essentially the number, how should I say this? Every segment has a road, can be a roadblock. Yeah, every segment can be a big roadblock.
After the 6th battle, they're going to be level 40, right? I believe.
6? I haven't tracked their level. So yeah, we're facing with recolored elves, recolored bandits. So yeah, I would say this is one legitimate criticism of the game, Atelier Games, is lack of enemy variation. But again, as I've mentioned again and again, it depends on you, the gamer, if we're not risking the manti, the dogs also. They're really fast. Yeah, it's a recolored version. But again, the emphasis is not on combat, but on... To some extent, the story, I would agree. But the item crafting is the more premise. Yeah,
さあ、行くわよ。
item crafting. Oh yeah. We can take a little breather for a while because we got absorbed into talking. Yeah.
どうしようか。
So how much longer from this point to get to? I guess you stop at level 48 and you trigger the Schea ending
48
first,
or
right?
49, yeah. 48 or
Yeah.
49.
The most important thing is that Mari doesn't hit level 50.
Actually, wait. I don't remember quite well if... Yeah, as of this time, Marie is the one who levels up faster.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're risking the man type first and the dogs, and we can heal. But let's see.
As long as they don't kill anyone first round.
Yeah, they don't kill anyone first round. And the good thing is, Marie and Mew go first.
Nice. Easy.
どうしようかな。
Now we don't actually at this point we absolutely do not battle the gargoyles because the gargoyles have tons of HP actually. So not only
Yeah.
they are way too defensive and way too offensive, they have also tons of HP. If I'm not mistaken, they're about like what, 600.
Yeah, they
That's
have way
really
more
big.
HP, they do way more damage, and they have nasty status effects. Like,
Yeah,
we
the
don't,
usual
we do not want to
gargoyles.
mess with the round 2 of gargoyles. That's not fun.
But since we're flexible in terms of difficulty, we could just change the difficulty.
If we actually wanted to fight them. But the XP wouldn't
Yeah.
be worth it.
But yeah, we will be just for the purpose of showcasing the game. We'll see.
Unfortunately, for this category, we do not have the time slate. So,
If we're doing on very hard, of course. Mewtwo paralyzed. Literally, I don't want to see.
uh-oh.
Let's risk.
Yeah, that's really unlucky. The paralysis on Mew there. Although we got a bunch of misses on Mari. Nope. That was just bad luck.
Yeah, essentially. Wait, I haven't tracked the level. 43. Oh, okay. Let's go to September 30. So yeah, this is the 5th tier, and we can just do more tower visits. We kept on getting coins.
ワクワクパラこれは
Yeah, once you no longer need money, the game just showers you in it.
どうしようさあ行くわよ
Yeah, and Mew's wage. Yeah, when I first played this game, I was quite surprised with the wage system because they became your friends and you still pay them.
Oh yeah, we
So,
never really talked
in a
about
way-
that, huh?
So it's in a way, are you putting a price on friendship? But
Yeah.
good thing Mew does not demand too much. But
Yeah, when
the
you
other party members,
どうしようかな
when you add someone to your party, you're actually hiring them as a mercenary, basically. So you have to pay them to come out with you. Some of the better party members are actually very expensive. Schea is, of course, free.
and Christ too, yes. The Magician Boy. But we don't use the Magician Boy because well, I tried using it in the previous category, but under the impression that Marie will...
どうしようかなさあ行くわよ
Are we still gonna hit the estimate? What time is it?
139. It's close-ish.
We save a good time with the previous category, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Nice. And it's pretty close anyways. I think it
どうしようかな
I think it is pretty much on pace.
Yeah.
Give or take a minute.
どこに行こうかなさあ行くわよどうしようさあ行くわよ
Of course, a lot
Actually,
depends
I
on the battle RNG, whether or not
Yeah.
we die.
No, we need to run. We need to run. Oh, come on.
Whoops.
You know what? I will not risk anymore. Okay, I will not risk anymore. Lesson learned.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's fun
so
to
just
try and go
rest for 20
fast
days.
with not healing, but it's so dangerous depending on
Yeah.
the turn order.
行くわよ何かいるよ
Because the turn order at the start of the battle is completely random. It's like somewhat determined by a speed stat, but it's mostly like completely random.
何かいるよ
So sometimes you get really lucky battles where your characters go first and you don't have to deal with you don't take any damage at all, and sometimes the enemies just delete you.
By the way, you don't need to worry about the estimate because we saved, I think, about 12 minutes with the previous category. So there's still a lot of time. Yes. Thank you. Ah!
Yay.
Okay, 4 more levels. So yeah, it's not that too bad. We can make to 545. We can.
Yeah.
Sorry, 545. I'm referring to the time zone. So there it should be 445.
Power grinding almost over. It's 2 more visits at most,
Is
maybe?
it there our third character in the game with AoE? Third character? I don't know what you're referring to.
どうしようかな
So we can't use a third character because we need XP on Schea for the ending. The ending requires Schea at level 50. So she's locked in as the third party member for this category.
Yeah, but in case if there's a third character, probably he or she might be referring to the Marie's adventure, in which you don't need Schea for the Marie's adventure, so you could literally do fast as possible with Marie alone, with Marie and then the rest of the crew.
Yeah.
I don't know who's the third character that he or she is talking about.
I don't remember.
If you're talking about Christ has lesser a range of AoE. Yeah, Christ has lesser AoE because, for example, Christ would hit like what, T shape.
どうしよう
It's not the whole battlefield, so it's not worth it. Yeah, I tried Christ for the Savior ending under the impression that because he has high magic attack compared high magical attack. No AoE? She has an AoE. It's healing though. It's a healing move.
Yeah, she doesn't have area, but the point of the category is to kind of carry her, so
どうしよう
there's no replacement.
行くわよ
Unless you want to replace Mew, but I do not know any other party member who does better physical AoE than Mew. So as far as I know. Because again, we need essentially if you want to do this category, you any of the categories that involve the tower, grinding in the tower, you need someone who is both physical AoE and magic AoE.
Yeah, to take advantage of
どう
weaknesses.
しようかな
Yes.
Alright, so it's
Not just
time to
weaknesses,
trigger the first ending, right?
Yes, actually. Let's save first.
Yep.
And then we go to Schea, we talk to her.
あら何そうどこに行こうかなさあ行くわよどうし
Wait,
ようかな
48. Okay.
どうしようさあ行くわよ
Even at high levels, just look at this. 70, it's still high, still significant. Yeah.
Yep.
So Marie is level 48.
どうしようさあ行くわよ
Yeah, with the elves, usual spam of flurry prayer, and then sometimes the bandit would just recover if they're hit by an AoE.
どうしようかな
So we return
Knock it
again.
in. Not gonna risk the Manti.
Yes, of course. Especially we don't have Schea in our party.
どこに行こうかな
Especially we don't have Schea in our party. We need Schea in our party. If we have Schea in our party, we can risk it. How in the world do you survive? Yeah. Okay, so one more fight with the peonies and then we're home, free.
さあ行くわよ
Because that's just 36 experience and the peonies are like
Yeah, it should be enough.
there.
Yay, level 50.
We can
どうしようかな
come on, faster.
Alright, so now we just sleep to the end, right?
I almost did that. I almost saved right there. Oh, we still have a couple of months. So, okay. We'll have a couple of months.
Yosh.
Okay, we have one of the endings. And there. Marie's adventure ending. We're not timing yet.
勝ち続けました
This is just one of Shea's endings.
故郷の村からここにやってきた
And
同じ
this ending
日の道
is actually a basis in the other Atelier game,
の頼り
which is actually the direct sequel of this game named Atelier Ellie. Yeah, it's Atelier Ellie, which is the sequel of this one,
不思議な
in which Ellie will encounter almost the same characters as in the Marie games. Yeah.
シアは毎日思うのでした
We have 1 minute to play the cutscene, and then we have to level up Schea all over again to level 50. But that's 2 levels, so she can do that.
Yeah, it'll be pretty
シア
quick.
は待つことしかできないのですマリーが笑顔で帰ってくるその日を夢見て
This is the canon ending. If you're talking about the direct sequel, yes. Yeah, I would say yes. No, of course. We will load.
Yep, and due to the ending priority system, so we got one ending, and yeah, reload the game, meet the requirements for a different ending, and you can get that ending as well from a single playthrough.
あらマリー
We got Schea early. Still in our party.
やらないといいけど
Yep.
どうしようかさあ行くわよ
Just have a few more battles to do.
1 tower if we are good. Oh no.
Oh, might be fine.
Just don't hit Schea for another one. Okay, that's just about fine.
Nice.
So 2 more battles. Yeah, 2 more battles.
Yeah, if you can fight the Manti this time, it'll be real quick. Thankfully, now that everyone is like really high leveled, they take a lot less damage now than before
Yeah, but there's
and
still
have a
the
lot
risk-
more HP.
yeah.
Yeah, there's
They're
still
about
risk
to,
of
yeah.
dying, but it's a lot more consistent.
And also, as long as we get enough setup with Shea's healing spells. Yeah, enough setup.
どうしよ
And we're relatively safe
う行くわよ
fighting the Manti and the dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you're at full HP, I don't think they can do enough damage. Miss.
We just missed. shield. Critical hit. Critical hit.
Mew is
Very
really
significant
close.
damage.
Yeah, crits are a ton of damage in this game. Alright, nice. Schea
Marie
is strong.
Marie still left. Is it enough for experience?
Oh yeah, Mari needs to hit 50 as well, right?
Oh, okay. She
Oh,
leveled
she leveled
up.
up.
Okay. Okay.
Yay!
Okay.
Alright, and time is gonna be as soon as we skip the cutscene going into the ending, so in a few seconds here.
Next time, we're not going to the market.
Just have to sleep to the end.
Okay, a little bit more.
And time.
Time.
Good
And this ending's very funny because she is just strong now, so she's stepping over everyone at the yearly martial arts tournament.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah,
I
this
think that you
this
had
the
one
two Schea
last
endings.
category that you wanted to show off, right?
Yes.
Then we are going to go to a very brief break while we get switched over. Good game again. Really fantastic run. Hey, 2 speed runs at the same time. Pretty cool. But we will be right back with one last very fast Atelier run.
Yeah, so stick around. That one will be very fun. It'll be the original game, so.
And we are back. One more time for tonight, we're going to bring you another Atelier speedrun. Except this one, a little bit different from what we've been seeing so far, as I understand it. This one, it's going to be somewhat quicker. This one's going to go faster. Don't blink. Actually, don't blink. Don't worry, your eyes won't dry out. They won't have time to. John, show me this amazingly fast speedrun that you've been telling me about.
Yes. First, if you buy the deluxe version of this game, you get to play the original version, as you see on the lower right bottom corner of the screen. So there's play original with Marie's original sprite or picture, and we click tab, so we see, boom, this is Atelier Marie Plus, based from, I would say it's PS1, I think. Yeah, it's the PS1 version. So we will do the new game, of course, and just to show something else, you will see my right hand throughout the run, because you don't need, actually compared to the remake, you don't need the right hand for speed running, because I won't be pressing the M button, the P button, and whatsoever, and even the escape button is not needed here. So yeah,
Alright.
Start.
And yeah, so this game is a lot faster. We'll also be doing a different ending, the normal ending, which is the fastest category in the remake as well, which we didn't show off here. Taru, run validated.
And then Academy.
The requirement to get the normal ending in this game is you need to make a rank 3 item to pass the exam. Basically, the easiest rank 3 item to make is Spinach S. We just bought the book for that from the Academy. And all we have to do is we have to go gather to get Hebel Water and Mystica. Gathering is not an overworld. We don't have a map in this game. Oh, we got Mystica. I think.
We want to be safe. We want 4. Oh no.
Okay, 4. Yeah. Instead, just you spend days and it gathers. You really don't want to get encounters here. Encounters obviously spend a lot of time, and Mari can actually die if you get unlucky on escaping.
Okay, good.
Alright, so we have all the materials we need. We go back and we make the item. It is a 55% chance? I don't remember. So we're gonna save before we make it, just to be safe. So yeah, we have to do green neutralizers first, and then spinach S. And if we succeed on
we
the
got
spinach
lucky.
S,
Okay,
nice.
so we can do rest. Okay.
Yeah, and now you just need to sleep to the end of the game. You can sleep 6 months at a time. So, but just making that one item clears the requirements for Mari passing her exam. In the remake, they actually upped the requirements to a rank 6 item, which means you need to put a bit more effort in, and that's why the remake is a fair amount longer than this one. But in this game, you can make the item just really quick, rest to the end, don't get any cutscenes, and we are cruising from this point.
Yeah, and I think there's something different with the PS2 version because in the PS2 version, you can just waltz all the way to
これなんだけど
Yeah, in
the end.
Yeah, in the PS2 version, you can sleep 5 years at a time, so it's actually a bit faster. In this version that they bundled with the remake, you can only sleep 6 months at a time, so it takes a little longer.
You're asking why am I waving? I'm showing that since I'm playing in keyboard, I just need my left hand to
One-handed
speedrun this
speedrunning.
game. To play this game, actually. Even to play this game.
何度も頼んでこれなんだけど
Ah, we
And yeah.
got bombarded with the quests.
Yeah, and being able to sleep 5 years at a time is really helpful because you're not going to get all these random cutscenes. But it's fine, we're almost there.
Yeah, keep spamming high emotes.
All right, one more sleep after this one. Is time as soon as the sleep is over? I don't remember when time
Already
is.
sleep is over. Without triggering the ending, no? I did not encounter so much Schea barging the room.
明日はついに来る
Yeah, Schea only came like 3 times.
Yeah.
頑張りますさ手元でも
And
Okay,
time!
Yep. Yeah, that one
So
was
this
pretty
is the
decently
normal
lucky.
I'm gonna be honest.
So
it
yeah,
seems
this
like
is
they
the
made this
normal
game very
ending.
easy. You can just beat the game in 3 minutes. Just
Yeah.
sleep.
Oh, 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes. Okay. I was expecting 4 minutes. Well, yeah, there's some worst case scenarios in the worst case scenario in the normal ending, especially if you encountered the bandits. Good thing we did not encounter the bandits. The bandits are really bad because, especially if there are 2 of them or 3 of them, it's essentially game over. Yeah,
Yeah,
essentially game over.
yeah, the encounter
You-
RNG was good enough for sure.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, this marks the end of the showcase for Atelier Marie.
Yeah, thank you
So
so much for
before
showing these
we-
runs off. Hey, everybody.
Yes.
You should be following this runner. There's a link in the title right now.
Before I let Tina close the show, Angela, please give your closing remarks and shout outs, and then I'll give mine.
Yeah, thanks for having me on for commentary. It was a great time. Atelier games are awesome. I love them. Please play them. We could always use more speedrunners in our small but somewhat active community. They're really enjoyable. I hope you all enjoyed the runs. John, you did a great job running these. I hope you're enjoying running Mari as well.
Okay. So, okay. This will be a ton of shoutouts, but I have to pass it up. So first and foremost, I would like to thank Tina for giving this platform for my very first marathon. I started speedrunning this August, and to my unthinkable thought that I would get accepted in a GDQ platform. So bigger shoutouts to Tina for accepting my run. Shoutouts also to the Atelier RTA community for their warm welcome when I shared my first runs of this game. And then shoutouts to my family, especially to my younger brother, Soda Rollins. You might be watching this on VOD or on YouTube for the passion to video games. And finally, I dedicate this run to the 2 runners who inspired me to finally do a speed run and to think of it as an to do the unthinkable, which is to speedrun an Atelier game, because I did not expect it. So the first shout out goes to Nuji. I've been following Nuji for a couple of months, I think. Yeah, I learned from him a bit about Atelier speedrunning, and certainly the person that I have been mentioning quite a number of times, which is none other than my commentator Lilides, aka Angela, or vice versa actually. Yeah, biggest shout outs to the two. And before I close, chat, please spam, make some noise, please spam respect emotes, GGs, clap. If you have enjoyed the show, make some noise. Make some noise in chat. Yeah, I've seen GGs there. I've seen GGs. Yeah.
And thank you so
GG
much
claps.
for such a
everyone.
good run.
Yeah.
And Chad is going to want to keep on making noise, because coming up next, Church and Sarge and Captain Carrot are going to be bringing you Dredge 100%. It's going to be a ton of fun. One last time, thank you so much to John, to Angela, to really the whole Atelier community. This has been a great time.
Yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Barrel.